Welcome to episode 4 of season 2
Okay,
of
go for it.
Pixels to Politics. I'm your host, Dougie, and this is my co host, Bray, and we will be covering a wide array of topics today, including the classic political events across the globe and some pop culture events like the Super Bowl and maybe some internet drama because it's fun. That's all that? That's how a pro does
You kind of cut out a bit. I don't know if it was on my end or
it.
your end.
I'm pretty sure it's just you. your like camera keeps
Yeah, I
skipping.
mean, oh, I know why. I was downloading something,
Ah, porn collection?
and when I download, no, it's a game, but yeah,
Illegally?
I leave it unthrottled, so it was doing 100 megabytes.
Don't answer that on air. Don't answer that one
I'm
on
not
air.
answering
Don't
shit.
answer that on air.
Not after what happened with fucking Atlas. They made Persona 3 Reloaded. I downloaded that shit off Pirate Bay, right? And I tried to launch the game, and it sent my IP to fucking a Japanese company.
Oh.
That sent it back to my ISP and was like, "Listen, buddy,
Oh
you're
yeah.
in trouble. You can't be doing."
No,
I was like,
they monitor it on their own. The internet companies now they monitor it, and it's like unless you're using a VPN, they'll just send you they'll call you or send you a letter in the mail.
"It's like I wasn't gonna buy your game anyway. Why do you care?" I wasn't gonna. Sorry, buddy. It's a single player game with no online connection, and you kind of just play the story out. Like, I'm not giving you money.
Yeah, they've been that system's been in place for quite a bit. I think there's still ways you can get around it, but I mean,
Yeah, I'm still using a
obviously,
VPN.
right? A VPN is the easiest one, but yeah. Did you hear about Ubisoft and was it EA who are
Mm.
trying to put advertisements like ads, like video ads in their games?
Oh yeah, I mean, no one's gonna play it.
Well, Steam actually made it so that that's illegal. Like you can't do that and put it on the market.
Oh yeah, on their services, yeah.
Well, yeah, of course, on their services, but obviously it's a big deal.
Oh yeah, it's huge. Boop, boop, boop.
I'm not surprised. I don't know. We enter an era where people obviously are not interested in seeing ads at all, and they'll do anything to avoid them. And so these companies are putting in so much effort. Oh, it sounds like the announcement's gonna start. Let's watch this. No audio from you for some reason. So we have Anna Luna here is a Republican senator.
It's really low. I don't
Yeah,
know if it's just me.
I don't have the actual
You have a
stream.
different link? Yeah, because my volume is pretty much all the way up for this.
Maybe go to X. I believe she's streaming on there. Check that.
What's the name?
Anna Luna, Republican Anna Luna, or Representative Anna Luna. It doesn't look like she is streaming it on. That's not live. Oh, honestly, we can just talk about it over. I don't think they'll announce anything too crazy.
Wait. I think I got something.
Oh,
The
There
federal
we
government
go.
has
that's
not
better.
answered these questions. This creates distrust in our institutions.
So, just for
Yeah.
background,
That
this
ends
woman here on
today.
the left,
The
she
voters of this
has
nation
been
delivered
the
a
lead
historic
on the
mandate to President Trump
UFO
on
slash
November 5th.
UAP task force
The keystone
for like
of
10
that
plus
mandate was
years.
demanding increased transparency of their government and elected leaders.
Okay.
And the mandate of
Mm-hmm.
this task force is to acquire that transparency. We will open this up for a question from the media, but first I'd like to hand it over to my esteemed colleague and chairman of the new task force, Congresswoman Luna, for her remarks.
Let's go.
Thank you, Chairman Comer. When our founding fathers stood against tyranny, they did not merely oppose taxes. They defended the sacred idea of individual sovereignty. They declared that no government, agency, or title could infringe upon the freedoms of speech, religion, thought, and the pursuit of truth. For too long, the American spirit has been dimmed by a veil of secrecy, by a government that has grown too comfortable in the shadows, denying us the transparency we deserve. But today, we stand at the dawn of a new era where the light of truth begins to shine through. A few weeks ago, President Donald Trump made a historic announcement.
Get out of the way,
With the stroke
buddy.
of a pen, he committed to declassifying the files concerning
There's
the
some guy with,
assassinations
like, a
of
green
President John F. Kennedy,
I missed it.
Robert F. Kennedy, and Dr. Martin Luther
Keeps
King
getting
Jr.
annoying.
A decision not just monumental, but pivotal. It is with profound honor that I have been entrusted by Speaker Mike Johnson and Chairman James Comer to lead the House Oversight Task Force on Declassification of Federal Secrets. Together with the help of the White House, our intelligence allies, the Department of Defense, the Department of Justice, we will be conducting investigations into the following: the assassinations of JFK, RFK, and Dr. Martin Luther King, unidentified aerial phenomena, also known as UAPs, unidentified submerged objects, also known as USOs, the Epstein client list, the origins of
Okay.
COVID-19, and the 9/11 files. This task force will be a beacon of bipartisanship. On the Republican side, Representatives Burchett, Boebert, Burleson, Crane, Gill, and Mace will be joining me, although I'd like to note that I'm expanding this to the entire governing body and will be allowing certain members to waive on. Our first hearing is set for March. The date will be announced soon, and we've already initiated close to a dozen communications with various agencies, to include Pam Bondi at the Department of Justice and the Secretary of State. This will no longer be a task force that makes bold promises only to fade into irrelevance or send strongly worded letters. This will be a relentless pursuit of truth and transparency, and we will not stop until the American people have the answers they deserve. We will cut through the bureaucracy, challenge the stonewalling, and ensure that the American people finally get the truth that they have been denied for too long. If we are to endure and thrive as a nation, we must restore trust. Trust through transparency.
Hey, why didn't I hear
The
9/11?
American people
She
must
said
be
9/11.
trusted to think for
Did
themselves,
she?
to
Mhm.
form their own judgments from the truth
Okay.
that they are entitled to know. We've been treated like children for too long and kept in the dark by those we elected to serve us. It is my solemn duty to begin mending this trust, to form a new relationship between the government and the governed. Let us embark on this journey together towards a government that does not serve, but one that enlightens. That does not just serve, but one that enlightens. Trust through transparency, that begins now. Without further ado, we'd like to open it up for questions, as I'm sure many of you have those. Hands up.
How big are your tits?
Obviously, your goals are aligned with the administration's on
I can't hear his question. What does he say?
I have no clue.
Kennedy's.
I don't know.
How would you handle if you end up, whether it's President Trump or Attorney General Bondi or DNI Gabbard, if they disagree with what you're looking to declassify on a certain topic, whether it's UAPs or 9/11 or something like that? How would you handle if there's some stuff that they don't necessarily want to declassify?
Well, certainly, I think that they'd be supportive, being that they're advocating for this. But also, I want to remind the American people that this is
I've been
bipartisan.
watching
There's
a lot
also
of press
Democrats that are
conferences
looking
lately.
Yeah.
The reporters always ask that type of question that is like really hypothetical. These like
Well,
these like insane what if questions that I find interesting, where they're just like,
yeah.
what if a meteor comes and strikes down you in the head? What are you gonna do? That like these wild hypotheticals, or they'll just simply like dismiss what the person is like trying to do, right? Like they'll be like, well, what if
Yeah.
you fail? What if you fumble down the stairs on your way out of the building? What are you going to do if you hit one little roadblock? And they just ask
What-
questions like that all the time. It's like,
What if a large black man fucks you in the ass when you're walking
Dude,
down the alleyway?
they just ask random stuff, man. It's like, what are you even saying? Like, why I don't
Listen, Doug,
understand questions like that.
Here's the good news. None of what they're going to release is going to be true. Not a single thing.
You don't think a single thing is gonna?
Nope. Wanna know why? Because all of those things implicate Israel.
Well, okay. So here's what I think is low key going on. So I watched another press conference today. The King of Jordan is visiting the U.S. and they had a press conference with Trump and Marco Rubio, who's the Secretary of State. And Trump has done this twice now, where he's done this more than once across the board, where he looks at whoever he's having a press conference with, and then he says something that person was not expecting. And I was watching somebody else who said the same thing, where I fully believe that Benjamin Netanyahu did not expect Trump to say that he was going to take Gaza. I don't think he expected that shit. And today he did the same thing to the president of Jordan, where he looked at him and said, "Yeah, you're okay with taking in Palestinians, right?" And the and the dude, the president of Jordan is just sitting there like, I don't know. We got to talk about it with the other Arab leaders. And Trump just before that was like, well, because the reporter asked him, he's like, he asked the king of Jordan, he's like, hey, are you okay with this plan? And Trump was like, yeah, he's okay with it. We already talked about it. That's what he said. He said that shit in front of, and the king of Jordan is just like, well, we gotta wait until we talk to the Arab leaders. But Trump keeps kind of doing that where he puts them on the back foot, and then he's also dropped hints and put people in power that are not exactly in alignment with what's going on.
He's like that. He's like one of those like big burly dads that like pats his son on like the back really hard.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're gonna help your mom move the groceries in, right?
Yeah,
champ?
exactly. Here's the funny part. So he did this with he's a tech CEO from Japan. I can't remember his name, but maybe people have seen the clips. But he turns to him and he says, you promised to invest 100 billion, but you're willing right now to make a statement about investing 200 billion, right? Right? And the guy just starts laughing. He's like, 100 billion is enough. We'll see. He's like, you can do it. You'll invest 200 billion. Stop it. This shit's so fucking funny, dude. Well, guess what? That guy came back later on for the Stargate project and promised $500 million. So he kind of does this thing more than once where he throws these guys just into the frying pan and is like, yeah, you're gonna do this shit, right?
If an Israeli entity gets implicated in any of the things that they're talking about, I'll believe it. I'll believe all of it.
It's fine.
But I don't think a single entity will be implicated because Israel didn't do anything. Because Israel simply didn't do anything.
I more than understand what you're saying, and I think there's a strong possibility you're correct. I do think they'll try and avoid making Israel look bad. However, he's kind of done these 3D chess moves where he's put people in power that I don't think are really that scared of Israel as much as maybe they should be. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
Why would they be scared of Israel? Israel's a good guy.
Here's my question. Why even throw in 9/11 in the first place, right? Because people are going to kind of figure out immediately if the JFK thing is true. Yeah. Like that'll be the first one. That'll be the first one that's come out. This is sort of a follow-up on Trump's signing of the declassification of these files. He signed them, I think it was on the first day. We're not going to get them right away. It's going to take them, I think they said 60 days to get them all out.
Yeah.
We should see some stuff right away. But they've already discovered 12,000 extra files on JFK that had never been disclosed. I don't know what that means exactly, but
that means the FBI, CIA, and not an Israeli entity worked together with Lyndon B. Johnson and William Greer, or Bill Greer, the driver of the vehicle, and he shot him in the head with a 9mm twice, killed him, and then they lied and said it was some random guy, some patsy who was in an apartment building that shot him from 500 feet away.
Yes, I think we'll see quite quickly if they're telling the truth or not. And there are some people like her who have just been put in charge. And I think even Kash Patel has kind of dropped hints about 9/11. And he's
9/11's easy to.
No, I know, but he's dropped some hints that he knows. You're right. What the hell is green shirt guy doing?
What is? Yeah, what do you get the fuck out of the way, man?
Bro, what is this guy doing?
I don't know. Is he trolling us? I
don't know either. But we'll be able to tell right away. I think if it's real.
It's the thing is, people have already figured it out. People already know the truth.
Right.
These files are irrelevant at this point. They don't even matter. At this point, it's all for documentation purposes, if anything.
Yes,
and if they put lies into the files, people just aren't gonna pay them any credibility. They're just not gonna give a fuck. They're just gonna be like, okay, so you put out some bullshit statement about how 9/11 being the Muslims and it was Al Qaeda all along, and that they were always telling the truth. Like no one's gonna believe that. People already know the truth. That's not the truth. That's a lie. It's like
Yeah, it'll be interesting. We're not gonna get. I don't think they'll. I think 9/11 will go last. By the way, I don't think it'll be first for sure.
because George Bush is still alive.
No, just because. Well, one, the logical reason is that the logical reason is simply they haven't signed any bill to get 9/11 information released. So again, it's still interesting they threw it in there, but that's never been talked about before. Obviously, JFK and MLK, those are the big two, and UFOs and UAPs being the next one, right? Those are the obvious ones.
Yeah.
I always forget they killed RFK's dad. That's like a thing that I always kind of forget, but they assassinated him.
I
too.
think he was just collateral damage. They were just like,
Probably.
we have to kill another Kennedy. Like, come on, it's been a while, you know.
They're all enemies of the state.
Yeah. Like you want to get RFK's dad? Like, why not? Fuck it.
Do it on the anniversary just for fun, funsies.
Yeah, just for fun, just for funsies. Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see. Honestly, like I'm a little sad. I was expecting her to come out and kind of just drop a bombshell. This is not. This is a little stupid. Just to say that you're gonna head the task force. I get that for her, it's very exciting, but it's misleading for her to say this is going to affect the entire nation. It's going to be so crazy. It's like maybe in the future. Yeah, like I'm not. Yeah.
Again. Oh, hey guys! It turns out jet fuel can't melt steel beams. WTC-7 was apparently it really was a controlled demolition because it wasn't hit by a plane.
My question to you, because I think you represent a large portion of that circle.
Yeah.
What would happen if she did come out and say, okay, yes, holy shit, Israel fucking helped the terrorists get in and help facilitate.
Nothing.
What would that mean?
Nothing would happen.
No, I mean, what
it
would
would
that
mean nothing.
For you? Mean nothing to you?
To me, nothing. Nothing.
Just like you wouldn't be like, I told you so. You'd just be like, eh.
No, it would mean nothing because nothing would get done about it. Hey guys, it turns out Israel, caused 9/11. Could they face a punishment? No, they're our greatest ally. $5 trillion to Israel immediately.
Again, I'm a little suspicious. If I'm the Middle East right now and I'm the Middle Eastern leaders, I would be nervous as fuck based on what Trump's doing. We'll talk about Gaza here again because this keeps coming up, and the reporters again. This is during the meeting today, the press conference. But one of the reporters, obviously, the whole that whole system is on fire, and one of the things they asked him was, "What do you mean we're gonna own the Gaza Strip? Like, are we gonna buy it?" He's like, "No, we're not gonna buy it." And he looked at the King of Jordan and he said, "It's just gonna be ours." That's what he said. He said, "It's just ours." He just said that shit, bro. He didn't say we're gonna buy it. He's like, not a single U.S. tax dollar will be spent on it. He said it's just going to be ours.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if he is a man of his word.
Yes,
we will see.
Yes, I've come.
Is he? Yeah.
Doubting him always feels bad because I didn't think he'd win the first election. I didn't think he'd win the second election. Well,
I knew he was going to win the first one.
I did.
Which was the funniest.
But I was also head up the rear, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew he was going to win. I was like, this is too funny. Watching all the media and celebrities laughing about Donald Trump. And don't laugh at him, dude. Laughter. Would you tell the American people that, hey, this dude isn't going to win. He's not going to be your president. You are literally pulling a contrarian backstab on yourself. That's what you're doing. You're saying, oh, he's not gonna win. People are literally gonna be like, you don't tell me who to vote for. Fuck you. I'm voting for him anyway.
Well, it was believed the opposite effect was true, and maybe it was at some point where if people believe that the candidate wasn't going to win, it would discourage them from voting for said candidate. Yeah. And I think that it actually played a role in this election in reverse, like you said, the way in the way that you said. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe that used to be true, and it's not anymore. I don't know, but I do agree with you that now, if you tell people what to do, they're just gonna be like, fuck.
They're gonna do the opposite. Yeah. They're literally gonna do the opposite because you're telling them what to do, and people are stupid. So they're gonna be like, you don't tell me what to do. I'm an idiot. I'm gonna do what I want to do.
Well, I think it's changed a bit too, where the trust in media has eroded, blah 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 blah. But they also kind of came at it from like a moral standpoint, or like a your friend. Like, we're not going to vote for this guy, right? Clearly they're a dick. Like, why would we vote for that person? And then that kind of evolved to, you're going to vote for this person? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you're a racist bigot. Like, you can't do that. How dare you? And then that just encouraged people to vote.
And then people
so.
just vote for them as a fuck you to the other
Yeah,
side.
exactly.
That's just how it is. So for example, if they had said that Kamala's probably not going to win, if you don't vote for Donald Trump, that you're, a racist or a dumbass,
Right.
or whatever, then people probably would have voted for Kamala.
Yeah. Yeah, it would have been interesting. Who knows how much of an effect that stuff plays, but I don't know. The Gaza situation again
Reverse
is,
psychology, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
That was the term I was thinking. Reverse psychology.
The Gaza situation just like keeps getting interesting, but not really, because I'm sure for other people they're thinking like, moving Palestinians, that's crazy. But I think it's way more interesting watching him pressure these world leaders who are worth like trillions of dollars, right? And like, they run a whole ass country on the spot in front of the cameras, and he just he exposes them. He exposed the King of Jordan. He's like, oh, we talk behind the scenes. You're gonna take them in, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and the King of Jordan's just like, oh, did I say
The thing
that?
is, the only reason these people are worth anything is because we gave them money.
Exactly. And so one of the reporters, funny you said that, one of the reporters was like, have you been, again, they're sitting right next to each other. They're not in separate rooms, you know what I mean? He looks at Trump and he goes, do you plan on threatening them with tariffs if they don't do what you say? And Trump looks at him and goes, nah, we don't need any of that, right? Yeah, we're good buddies. Dude, I'm telling you, I'm watching all the conferences today is crazy. It's so crazy. Every
turning
single
into
one
mafia.
of them. Yes, you're right. It gets even better. You say that. One of the reporters is like, what authority do we have to do such a thing? And Trump looks at this person and goes, the U.S. authority? And then he just moves on. Dude, it's a different era, dude. It's a different era. Like, I don't even know, man. It's so crazy. Whether
I think it'll be interesting. I want to see where, like, what he's going to do about because there's been a lot of crap that's happened where it's been like, oh, $2.3 trillion goes missing. People are receiving insurance payouts in the billions. Money laundering left and right, and they're all scrambling to go to the Department of Education and everything. What's going to happen when all this information finally does get released? Do these people get executed? Do they get put in jail? What happens, right? Does anything happen? Probably nothing happens, right?
Again, this is another one of those things where they haven't outright said something was going to happen, but they did just get a new their attorney general approved, Pam Bondi, and she has dropped some hits. And again, I watched all the Senate hearings for getting these guys approved, and one of the things that the senators and the House of Representatives, before any of these members for the cabinet can get approved, they have to go through the House and get approved by the House and get approved by the Senate. So they have hearings and they sit there and ask them questions. Some of the questions that were repeated to each of the candidates was, are you going to go for Trump's enemies, or political retaliation in any way? And one of the things they kept saying in response was, we're going to follow the law, and all of the people will be held to the same standard. That was a very common phrase that they kept repeating in response across the board. So I'm talking Tulsi Gabbard, who's gonna, head up both the CIA and the FBI. I'm talking Kash Patel, who's gonna head the FBI. The dude who's leading the CIA has already been confirmed. I don't remember his name. I think it's like Mike Waltz. He said it. And no, I think her name is, who is leader of Homeland Security. They all, and Pam Bondi, they all said this after getting that same question, of, are you going to pursue such and such, the January 6th committee, or political adversaries, or anyone, seek retaliation. And they all answered the same way. We're going to apply the law as a standard across the board. And they got pressed on it.
What is the prison sentence for money laundering government official?
The sad part is, unfortunately, a lot of what's been going on is technically legal. That's like the worst part, right? So a lot of this gets done through NGOs, and if you don't know what NGOs are, they're non-government entities that are funded by the government. It's a little
Yeah.
silly. But what happens here, I was explaining this to somebody else.
10 to 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't expect them to get 10 or 20 years, but I would like to see a lot of them removed from office and never, be able to take.
Involving banks or offshore accounts and lead to enhanced sentence under federal guidelines.
A lot of what's been going on is technically legal, which is just sad. But
Let's see, what are the crimes punishable by death sentence?
for instance, Chelsea Clinton, who is Hillary Clinton's niece, has a foundation, because of course she does, that gets a lot of USAID money. And
Yeah.
it just so happens that Chelsea needs to buy a really big house and a really nice car and blah, 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 and so on and so forth.
Oh,
So,
Doug, wait a minute. So murder of a government official,
we got big news
JFK,
on that.
treason, espionage,
Espionage, yep.
assassination of the president, vice president, or member of their staff, once again JFK,
Terrorist
attack resulting in death, 9/11, carjacking resulting in death, Princess Diana,
Mm-hmm.
aircraft piracy resulting in death, 9/11. These are all federal crimes that can utilize the
I
death
do
sentence.
think they could all be. Guess who is reinstating the death sentence for these type of crimes?
Who?
President Trump.
Wow.
So
shocked.
again, I feel like a lot of the pieces are getting put in place for what we want.
Yeah.
We'll see if they're executed. What's scary is that Trump is pretty vocal about what he's going to do, and then he tends to chase those things. There are a lot of things he doesn't talk about that he pursues in the background.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, again, watching these pieces get put in place. Don't know what will happen.
Also, sexual assault of a minor. It's another crime punishable by death.
That was the one that they were really. So here's what it was. It was sex trafficking and obviously pedophilia and that stuff. That was the one they want to do a federal approval for termination. Now, guess who's been playing a large part in sex trafficking?
Who hasn't?
Okay. A lot of the systems that were in place for illegal migrants under the last administration, you could technically tie that up. If you know what I'm saying.
So you're saying the sex trafficking that was going on during the Biden administration for illegal immigrants?
Yeah. There are a lot of ways that they could pursue legal action against them. So some of this has actually started. There are a couple of members of the FBI who've been exposed for spoiling ICE raids. So actually letting the media know about the upcoming ICE raids, and then the ICE will go to the buildings and they'll be completely empty. And they just found out some members of the FBI are leaking it. Obviously, there's a lot of mayors, and specifically in California. Tom Homan just said this today. Tom Homan being the border czar who's in charge of getting these people out of here. He was saying that they are putting up roadblocks to stop them from getting into these sanctuary cities. There are a lot of judges who are just doing random things. So there's a lot of opposition right now. And it does seem like they're going to pursue legal action to get these people out of office, maybe in jail. We'll see how far up the chain they go. All I'm saying is there's been a lot of hints that they are kind of sowing the seeds to maybe hold some of these high elected officials accountable. Which is probably why they got pardoned, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the easy answer. That's why Biden pardoned them. No? You know what I mean?
I mean, that's only for the crimes during his, when he pardoned them. Not for anything that happened afterwards.
Most of them left office already.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. Again, I'm with you. I don't think much will come from this. I think these people will just be removed from power, and then they'll call it a day. Which, to be honest, is good enough for me. They should go to
Tapping the
prison.
sign.
Yeah.
Tapping the sign, Doug. Tap, tap, tap. Nothing ever happens.
We'll see. We'll see. Again, every single time I've thought Trump is not going to be able to do what he says he's going to do, he kind of manages to get it done, and it tends to be impressive.
I mean, when you have the strongest military and an infinite money, printing machine.
I know, but we haven't used it in this way in like what 60 years, 70 years. Like it's been a while since we've like put the pressure to people's throats.
I guess Trump's like Assassin's Creed or something.
I don't know, but we also have some other breaking stuff. This is alleged, by the way.
Okay.
There is a person who has filed a report against Ben Shapiro, who is the governor of Pennsylvania. Look him up real quick. Ben Shapiro, pretty popular name. It's not the guy who does the YouTube channel shit. It's an actual governor or senator of Pennsylvania.
Joseph Shapiro? Josh?
Josh Shapiro? Yeah, sorry, I put Ben. Ben is the YouTuber. Ben and Josh. They're not, I don't know if they're related, but
Yeah,
Ben
Ben's
is the
voice is kind
YouTuber.
of like scratching a chalkboard.
Josh is the elected official. The rumor or the alleged crime is that this guy helped set up the assassination attempt against Trump.
Once again, Doug, we go back to the sign.
This just came out yesterday.
Back to the sign tapping. Tap, tap, tap. Nothing ever happens.
Okay. Well, who knows? We'll find out if it's true. Yeah,
I wanna see
I'm
what
sure
people have
if
been
that's
commenting.
true, this one will fly to click on it.
Thank you to the White House who made this release possible.
Oh yeah, a teacher, an American teacher who was in Russia just got released.
Who cares?
Apparently, these people.
I don't give a fuck. All right, what else we got?
Well, we have the Super Bowl. You watch it? Did you watch
Doug,
it?
once again, Doug, we go back to the sign.
Okay, you're gonna use this for everything. You don't think anything ever happens ever. What eventful thing happened to you this week? Tell me.
Nothing. Because
Okay.
once again, Doug, back to the sign. Tap, tap, tap.
I'm sorry your life is boring.
But yeah, no, the reason that the Eagles won and not the Chiefs is because there was a higher deviation of bets for the Chiefs. So they made
they
it so
all
the
bet on
Eagles
it?
won. And so what happens is the betting companies will send the data, or rather, they won't send the data. They will use the data as a way to determine what side needs to win and what side needs to lose, right? So they'll get their spread, and in this case, the spread was like, in this case, it says 1.5 under, so it was like 48.5% was for the Eagles.
Yeah.
So you're looking at like a 6.5% margin of profit roughly, assuming that the money is divided evenly in that 6.5% or whatever. And they paid the NFL a certain amount to rig it, and then they rig it for whichever team has has less bets on it, right? That way, they can just be like, okay, the betting company makes money, the NFL makes money, and less of the people betting make money, right? So that's typically how it works. So the Eagles won for that reason.
I haven't been paying attention to football in forever, but
It's
wasn't it very easy to predict the Eagles were going to win? I thought throughout the season, the Chiefs. People were saying the Chiefs weren't even good.
well, people thought the Chiefs were going to win is because the refs
Really?
were always biased towards them.
Oh.
Yes. So not only that, but it would make entertainment sense, right? Because once again, the NFL has a goal of providing entertainment while also being a competitive sports league. So the NFL is registered as entertainment. See, it's one of the second most viewed result. It considered a form of entertainment as part of the entertainment industry. This is important because
you're
it
not
is
legally obliged and all the same.
correct. So you can have gambling, betting. You can rig the matches just like the WWE can.
Interesting.
Yep. Yep. That's so they're pretty much just like the WWE except for football. So they can rig the matches. It doesn't matter.
Let's go. Did you watch
Yeah.
the halftime show? This has been
No.
kind of bugging people or been a controversial topic for some reason, but I feel like it is every single year. Every single year, there's a complaint. Like
Who
last
cares?
year,
It's
it
good.
was like they didn't have artists from Atlanta for some reason. I can't even remember why. Was it hosted in Atlanta? Right?
I don't even remember. I didn't watch the last Super Bowl.
I
so
don't even know. I remember the last time I watched wherever it was hosted, they were pissed because they didn't bring an artist from that area. This time, I saw complaints that people didn't like. They don't like Kendrick's music and they don't know who he is and they don't know the song. But in response to that, there was a lot of people saying, "Oh, it was only white people who don't like it."
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, who cares?
Do
Like,
you
who
know the
cares?
song? I like the song. It's good, and I
I don't
thought the
care. I don't
album he
listen to
put out
rap.
was good.
I think rap is a shitty genre.
Yeah, of course you do. You're the
Just
white
like,
stereotype who thinks it's shit. You're the reason they keep saying.
well, no. The thing is, Doug. Hold on. I know my music's bad. My music sounds like a bunch of fucking bullshit going on in like an electronic schizophrenic attack. My music is terrible. I can admit that. But the second I say rap is a bad genre, it sucks. Then it's like, oh, you're just saying that because you're white or that you don't like black music. It's just a shitty genre. I'm sorry. It just sucks. It's just bad music.
I
I'm
disagree. I
sorry.
think there's some great rap songs. I don't really like most of it. I think a lot of I'm gonna sound one of those fucking gay hipsters, but I think a lot of the mainstream stuff, not always true, but some of the more recent mainstream stuff I think is dog shit. Like I'm not a big fan of Nicki Minaj or Cardi B or I don't know most of them. I just don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know what the
rap
fuck's
is on
fire.
the same level as EDM and dubstep. I'm sorry, it just is.
No,
It's
it's
just a
not.
bad genre. It is. It's just
I'm
a bad genre.
no, like maybe in your head in that shape or form, but money wise, rap is like way bigger. I don't even think it's close. Way
Oh
more
yeah,
people listen to rap than those two.
yeah, because most people are stupid.
Okay, whatever. Kendrick performed the song. What is it? Not Like Us. You're Not Like Us.
Like
can't
I
remember.
don't even know the song.
You don't even know the
did not.
song? Okay, dude, wait, I can enlighten you. Okay, do you know who
I
Drake?
really
Do you know who Drake is?
the pedophile.
Yeah, the pedophile. So
Yeah, I
Kendrick
know he is.
Lamar wrote a song dissing him and calling him a pedophile. Honestly, I think the whole album is good, but the song is, obviously that song in particular blew up like crazy. He won a Grammy or Grammys for it, and then he performed it during the Super Bowl. Whatever. Here's what I wanted to talk about. People were saying they didn't like the performance, and it was quickly followed up with, "Oh, that's because you're white." What is wrong with you? If I didn't bring topics to the show, what would you talk about? What would you bring to the table?
Me?
Yeah, you can't.
Me? What would I bring to the table?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, you Doug. Doug, I would bring stuff to the table that would get us on an FBI watch list, okay? I would actually talk about the things that you're not going to see on the media and the front running news. But you don't want to talk about that stuff because it's all paranoid schizophrenia bullshit.
Like what? Give me one. Give me an example. Is it what?
Okay, let's talk about Goat Hill Pizza.
Okay, what is Goat Hill Pizza?
Now, the running theory, and this is a fairly new running theory. You ready? You ready,
No.
Doug? This is
No.
a child sex trafficking ring.
Is it?
Yes.
And why? How? Why? Who? How? Why? Who?
Let's take a look. So you'll see you can order stuff.
Okay.
Looks like a normal pizza place, right?
Yeah. Where's this at? Where's this located?
This is in San Francisco, California.
Oh, it's definitely a fucking trafficking ring.
Yeah. So you go to download menu, and it says some weird stuff. Well, first off, let's
Okay.
take a look at some things here. You'll see it says ask about our dessert menu. Why would you not just have it listed? Why do I have to ask? Isn't that bizarre?
I mean,
And
I
also,
guess a little bit, but also
why are we listing a number of people?
That's kind of
I
normal.
don't need you.
On how it
I don't know.
feeds.
It's not.
Yeah, it is. That's
No,
normal.
it's not.
Yes, it is. I've seen pizza places list how much it feeds.
Okay, and then let's look at the fucking goat.
Yeah, the goat. That's a little weird.
It's been around since 1975, by the way. This restaurant. And this goat is creepy as fuck.
And
That's the creepiest fucking goat you'll ever see.
okay, are there like images of kids getting kidnapped to this place? Has anyone tried to, order one?
Investigate it? No,
Investigate it
no.
in some way?
Doug, you have to understand how these places operate. You can order the shit on the menu. It's still a fucking restaurant. But on the back end, you can access, pedophilic activities like child trafficking. And that's just one of many things, right? Like, this is just one of many things.
But what, like, what proof? Like, you have to have something. Just literally anything. You can't just be like, oh, the goat is creepy. You can't just say the goat is creepy in the dessert menu and like isn't on file.
All right.
Like what, dude?
It continues. We go to Goat Hill Pizza onto the Google Maps, right?
Okay.
And then right down here is Podesta Construction.
Am I supposed to? Is the light bulb supposed to be going off?
Yes. Jesus Christ. So Podesta Construction, and these two are alleged to be related to the Podesta's brothers, which used to be lobbyists for Obama back in 2008, the White House.
That's already red flaggish.
And so if you go over here and you type in Podesta artwork, you can see it's definitely unconventional stuff.
Ugh. What the fuck?
Yeah. And these were lobbyists for Obama. And we can go down the whole World Corpo line, and I can bring up some more videos of why they're pedophiles and whatnot. But again, Doug, this is the stuff that I look into. Meanwhile, we're sitting here wasting time talking about 9/11 JFK. We don't know who did it. What happened? Everyone already knows what happened. This is a waste of time to talk about. Who gives a fuck if the government acknowledges it? I'm sorry, who cares?
Because
what
that would
a
be an
nothing burger.
opportunity for them to catch up. Hello?
What a nothing burger. Jerking off. What a nothing burger.
The way you investigate this shit is like in such a reverse order. You like walk around the street. You're like, oh my god, there's a. You're actually like a schizophrenic. That was a really good way to put it. That was like a true description. You walk on the street. You see someone with a picture of Satan, and then you're like, oh my god, that's suspicious. And then you look at the menu and you're like, oh geez, I have to ask for the dessert menu. That's suspicious. And then you look at the last name,
suspicious.
And you're like, oh, that's the Jewish last name. And like, dude, you just you pick a piece of data that supports your argument, and then you just start fucking going absolutely crazy with it. Like that's not reasonable investigation.
Okay, first off, it's in California. That's already a red flag. That it being in California is already a red flag.
That's the
first thing. The second thing, why is it a few blocks away, a few buildings away from Podesta Construction, which is related to the Podesta's brothers, who are pedophiles? Like, Doug, I understand that, like, when you look at the surface of this stuff, it all looks schizophrenic. But, Doug, that exact same argument you just made could have been said about the Epstein investigation, and I knew about Epstein 3 years before anyone else did, before it was in the media, before anyone else.
Okay,
and guess what they called us? Guess what they called? They called us fucking crazy. Like, oh yeah, I'm sure they're smuggling children away onto some fucking island, and there's like a Muslim building there that looks like it's a temple, and they have their own little weird little cultural rituals. I'm sure that's totally what's happening, you fucking crazy weirdos. That's what we got. That's the commentary we got from other people. We got laughed at. And then guess what happened? 3 years later, turns out, Epstein was a dude that had children on his island with a Muslim temple.
But the biggest problem that you guys have is that You guys fall into the CIA trap of flooding it with as much information as possible, so that there's so many wrongs that it's really hard to point at the right.
No, they do that. We just focus on the basic common sense information that's right in front of us.
No, I'm
Literally.
talking about how many different conspiracy theories are you wrong about every single day, all the time? Most of them are just nothing burgers themselves. And then you guys are like, yes, I got. Okay, here's an easy one.
Is this
right? Here's an easy one. Everyone
Okay.
goes back and they look at the Matrix movie and they say, look, I forget, there's some stupid connection for 9/11 in the Matrix movie. And they do this throughout all of media where they go, oh my god, there was a movie a year before where the Twin Towers was bombed. They knew the whole time. Even though in every single movie there's a landmark getting blown the fuck up. But just because it happened to be the Twin Towers in that specific movie, they're like, they knew. But nobody looks at every single other movie in which the San Francisco Bridge gets blown up, or fucking any other landmark, the Lady Liberty. It's irrelevant. And you guys do the exact same thing. So yeah, when you guys say everybody knew it was all a grand plan, and then you throw out all this information, nobody believes you because you look retarded. Like,
Okay, let's look up karmic retribution. You know what karmic retribution is?
What are you pulling up, dude? This is not helping your argument.
This is about to help my argument. Do you know what karmic retribution is?
I mean, let's read it. Is the idea that actions
we'll
have
go with the AI
consequences.
yes.
Okay.
An action have consequence, and that good and bad deeds influence a person's future experiences. It is a concept that appears in Buddhism, Hinduism, and Jainism.
Okay.
So essentially, the only way to get around karmic retribution is to do two things, right? One, you have to let the people know what you're going to do. That is the first rule of karmic retribution.
Wait, hold on. Maybe I'm jumping forward. But so you're saying that all of those movies that had the Twin Towers were okay. So we'll just agree to disagree, because I think that's retarded. Like you're doing the I'm picking all of these different things
let's ask a question then. Let's ask a question.
Sure.
Okay. Do you think, to some extent, whether it be 5% or 10%, to some extent, that there are people in power, whether it be right now or during the before 9/11 happened, are people that believe in cultist gods that believe in karmic retribution?
Probably.
Do you think those people could have had influence over the media that was pushed forward, and they had connections to 9/11?
There's a literal tech CEO who thinks humans should be made obsolete to AI. Yeah, do I think there are people who believes in cults and fake gods?
Karmic retribution.
Karmic retribution, sure, yes.
And those people were connected to 9/11. That's a possibility, right?
Sure.
And they influence their friends to get their people in Hollywood to push forward this idea of karmic retribution by explaining and pre-referencing 9/11 by putting it into cartoons and comics. Isn't that possible?
Yeah, dude, it's possible. But
there you go.
If that's true, then the opposite must be true, in which there are people who were aware of the plan and wanted to.
I'm sure there are definitely, there may have been one or two references where the 9/11 towers get blown up or destroyed or whatever, and it's just like a comical reference, right? And it doesn't mean anything. But you have to admit there's at least quite a few where they pre-reference 9/11 because they want to avoid the karmic retribution, because in order to maintain their power, they can't have bad karma. In order to prevent bad karma, you have to inform your victims of what you're going to do.
No, I don't even think. Even that view in itself is a little stupid. I think if they're going to expose it on purpose, they're just fucking with you for fun. I don't even think they would have this great guilty complex.
You would be surprised, Doug. You would be surprised.
Dude, I think you are like so far down the rabbit hole that
nope.
Again,
dude, this is like surface level stuff. Like, and once again, anytime you think there's no like level of occultism that comes into play with these things, I just want to let's go back to Epstein's Island really quick.
Dude,
let's go back to Epstein's Island.
Most people knew about Epstein Island. We knew about that shit back in high school. That's not like a new revelation.
Correct.
You're talking about
but there is some level of occultism to it, isn't there? They literally have a temple on the property, right? There's grave sites on the property. There is a level of occultism to these people in power. That's undeniable.
I'm not into it.
Truth is often stranger than fiction, Doug. It truly is.
I
You have to.
think
You
I
have to.
think
You
a
have
lot
to.
of these people are crazy. I think it's completely irrelevant. Like I don't think it matters. Like who
They are
cares?
crazy, Doug.
Who
But
cares if
it
he
doesn't.
has a temple? Like what does that mean, dude?
It's part of their occult. It is.
What
It's a part of.
what part of that matters to anything? What does it have
It
to
doesn't
do?
matter. It just lets you know that this is how they think. Karmic retribution. I don't care about karmic retribution. I don't, that means nothing to me. I don't care
So
about
then,
their cults or
so
their
then
practices or anything like that.
why are there so many comic and TV and media projections creations of other landmarks probably more commonly destroyed than the Twin Towers? Why? Are they
Those
coming
are
up
just
next? It's just
no. They're
random.
not coming up next. Correct. But once again, there's a difference, Doug. Those may be comical references. They may be playful references. They don't have anything to do with karmic retribution. But there is depictions, pre-references to 9/11, specifically the event, the date, and what the building that is getting destroyed. Oftentimes, when you hear or see about other buildings being depicted in comics or cartoons or television or media getting destroyed, there's not typically some level of like foreshadowing being
Yes, there
attached to it, Doug.
is. Yes, there is. Yes, there is. You're cherry
No, there
picking
isn't.
data. You're cherry picking it.
I'm not.
You are. You
Doug,
are cherry picking it. You are
I'm telling
cherry
you,
picking I've seen more movies than you. I've seen more TV than you. I've
probably
seen
not.
more comic books than you. I've
Probably not.
definitely seen more TV and movies than you.
I don't think so.
100%. I don't even think it's close.
I don't think you understand, Doug. I don't think you understand.
You've seen more anime. That's an easy one. But I've seen more movies and TV shows. I don't think it's close. I've ever seen more mainstream things than you.
Listen, Doug, you have to come to understand these people. I'm telling you, these
Okay.
people,
Well then,
they
hold
live
on.
in an occult world.
So
I'm
what
telling you.
happens next? Because you've obviously identified an algorithm in the mainstream media. They love to show it off. Not only do they love to show it off, but they do it for years in advance, 50 plus. So what comes next?
What comes next?
Yeah.
It's gonna be another virus.
I don't think so. I don't even think it'll be close. I think we'll
Yep.
make viruses obsolete.
Except this one's gonna be like an actual virus, not the flu. Because that's what they did. They just passed off the flu as COVID when it was just the flu.
We can actually talk about COVID now without getting
Correct.
fucked. How nice.
Correct. Yes, isn't that nice? But yes, there will be another virus.
COVID is
and
not actually the flu, though. Genetically, it's different. It's a SARS virus.
It's essentially the flu. It's
not the same thing. It's like
It's pretty much the
comparing beetles to cockroaches. It's not the same thing.
They're both pretty gross, and I step on both of them, so it doesn't matter.
Good for you, buddy. Good for you.
But yes, the next thing is more than likely going to be a virus. This fog is an upcoming test for that.
Oh.
Yep.
Fog.
The fog.
Okay.
Have you seen it?
The movie?
No. The weather.
I've seen fog. Yes. And I've seen the
Yeah.
conspiracy fog stuff where they show like little bugs or parasites running around.
That part, don't know anything about that. What I do know is that the fog is 100% man-made. It is not created naturally. It is not a natural element that was created by the surrounding weather. It was created by man. And 2, it is an upcoming test for what they plan to release at some point. Now, does Trump know about it? Is Trump involved with it? These are good questions, right? Does Trump know that there is man-made fog appearing in certain cities that are highly populated?
How much free
I don't
time?
know.
Like, how do you even think that conversation goes? One, how do you think he has so much free time that they can just sit around in meetings all day? How would that conversation even go? Oh yeah, by the way, Mr. President, we have developed a fog that carries a virus. What do you want to do with it? Like, how would that conversation even go in your head?
He is not involved with it. That is why the question is being brought up. He is not involved with it in
So
any capacity.
Who is involved with it?
That's
Pray
the question. There you go. Who?
There can only be a few suspects. There are only so many people. Oh Lord.
Doug, I'm telling you, these are the stuff that like people that are actually looking for new information talk about. They're not wasting time watching
They
like
are, in
press
fact,
interviews
wasting so
or
much
like
time.
reports about, oh look guys, the JFK files. It turns out it was the driver all along, just like we saw in the video.
Yo, man,
Isn't that
you
crazy?
guys are
It's so
wrong.
crazy.
People like you who do this are wrong 99% of the time. You get one right, and you're like, I knew it. I knew it the
Asking
whole
there is
time.
Doug. There's nothing
You
wrong with
guys,
asking questions.
you
That's
there
what we're
is nothing wrong
supposed to
with
be
asking
doing.
the questions.
Correct. There's nothing wrong with asking
There
questions.
is something wrong with completely denying the plausibility that one, you're wrong, and two,
I'm not denying the possibility I'm wrong. I'm just trying to ask
definitely
the
are.
questions. I'm trying to get to the root of the problem. What's the issue? Why is there fog appearing? People are saying there's bacteria in it. And then, according to a friend of mine, his buddy's a doctor, and they had 60 people coming in with flu-like symptoms on the day of the fog.
Do you think it's possible people tend to just
It's possible.
erratically
Anything is
draw
possible, Doug. But you
conclusions?
have to ask the questions. If you don't ask questions, you don't get to the answers.
I
And you
got
have to ask
an aunt sister who thinks lizard people are running among us, and that the president is probably one of them.
It's possible, but
There
you
you
have
go.
to ask the
There you-
questions. You have to
No,
ask the questions,
She's
Doug.
convinced. All I'm saying is, all of you, every single person in your pool, can't be right at the same time. That much I know.
No, you're correct.
Because you all contradict the shit out of each other. One of you says
Correct.
the fog
Some
is
of
man-made,
them are CIA. Some of them are federal agents that are just trying to sow dissent.
but
Some of them are just genuinely crazy, and others are like me, and they just genuinely want to find the answers. And the only way they can do that is by asking questions and investigating. That's it. That's all they can really do.
almost every single time, the answer has been someone's an idiot, and it's way more simpler than. And let's just talk about the UFO and UAP thing, because I think that's the easiest one. Joe,
I think.
hold on.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan, who had
Yeah.
Brett Weinstein, or his name Weinstein on. He's a biologist, high up biologist, not like studied biology. I love this guy's point of view. I've said it a few times on the show, where laser technology has become insanely advanced. I don't think people realize how advanced it's become. Oh, we didn't even talk about the quantum thing I sent you. We'll talk about that too, but that's in relation to this. The laser technology that we've developed is it'll blow your fucking mind, basically. And just shortcut, holograms are very easily made, and we make them all the time. Okay, I'm gonna jump back to Ukraine shooting an American-made missile that went over Russian land, confused the living shit out of all of their radars, and tricked them into thinking that a plane existed where it did not. It actually caused so much confusion, they accidentally shot down their own plane trying to shoot down this missile that was projecting planes. Okay? This technology is actually not that complex, if I'm being entirely honest. It's pretty simply done. UFOs and UAPs are, in my best guess, is literally just them fucking around and testing this laser technology that creates basically holograms. That's the only real explanation, in my opinion, besides Joe is on your side. The movement through space time. I'm forgetting 0-point gravity.
0-point gravity. What?
0-point gravity. You talked about the element that allows you to move through space time.
Oh, yes. I forget the name of it, but it's one that's not like it's not found on our planet.
Right.
Supposedly.
So these are the two. These, in my opinion, are probably the two leading theories. One is that the U.S. has very high-level laser technology, which, again, I showed you the Helios laser quite intentionally.
Yeah.
And I think that's quite obvious in my opinion. And then two, there's the other one, which is yours, the alien technology, that elements, 0-point gravity, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: when you look back at the technology of the U.S. and how it's been used, all I'm saying is not just the U.S., but the first time Americans in the West saw a jet, an actual jet plane, military jet created by the Germans, fly overhead. You ever see that video?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure most people have. The guy who sees it is like, "What the hell is that?" He's completely astonished, amazed. They don't know what the fuck it is. They didn't think it was aliens, obviously, because they're in the middle of a war. So the easiest answer is, But let's jump
Yeah.
ahead even further than that. So we all catch up on jet technology, and then the U.S. creates the SR-51, the plane that flies so fast that it outruns every missile. And
Yeah.
that starts confusing the shit out of the Russians and the Vietnamese, which is where we used the plane, until
Yeah.
they actually shot it down and figured out, oh shit, it's an American spy plane. Let's jump ahead even a little further, where the Russians launched the first satellite ever, Sputnik.
Yeah.
The Americans didn't know that was happening. That actually flew over, and we could see it with telescopes. And people thought they didn't know what it was. They thought it was aliens. They were scared to death, dude. They thought we were getting fucked. Like, they were terrified. We find out it's just the Russians. Okay, let's jump forward again. I know I'm being a little monotonous here, but I want to make a point. Let's jump forward to the start of the Gulf War.
Yeah.
The Americans use a plane that can't be detected by any radar. It's used at night. It blends in. They don't know what the fuck. These poor little fucking sand villagers are getting bombed in the middle of the night. They don't know what the fuck is happening. They come out and their entire base is just gone.
Yeah.
And it turns out it's the Nighthawk, which is the very first stealth plane, right? And we move forward even. Yeah, no, Nighthawk. It's called the Nighthawk. It's the F-117 Nighthawk, I believe it's called. Not the Black Hawk is a helicopter. Nighthawk is the plane. Look up Nighthawk.
1 second.
Black Hawk spy plane.
Blackbird.
Yeah, that's the
Okay,
SR-71. Sorry, I think I said 51. That's the plane I was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that plane was designed specifically to outrun surface-to-air missiles, and it did. They literally sent a guy in that plane and were like, "Yo, bro, this plane is supposed to outrun a missile. We don't know if it actually does. Go for it."
Yeah.
So he did.
Yeah.
He fucking flew over Russia and Vietnam. They shot the missile at him. He fucking floored it, and he outran it. And basically, this thing had a camera attached to it, and so it would just fly over their land and take pictures. Pretty cool shit.
Yeah.
But look up the Nighthawk. I think it's 117 Nighthawk. Really, yeah, very cool plane. This is the beginning to the stealth bomber era, and they didn't know this existed. This was not disclosed on purpose. This was kind of done on accident. It randomly got shot down, basically on just random chance. So they couldn't detect it. The only time you can detect this plane or this type of plane is when the bombardier doors open. And that's it. That's literally it. So they open up, they drop the bombs, they quickly close. Well, it just so happened, I believe this. I don't remember which country had figured this out, but it was just happened chance. Some bombs had fallen. They were just like, okay, we think it's headed in this direction. Some random guy, he was like, turn on the radar, and they just so happened to catch it with the doors open, and they realized, oh shit, it's an American plane, or it's a plane, assumedly.
Yeah.
Assumedly, is that a word? Assumingly.
No.
It's an American plane.
Yes.
And then show the B-52. The beautiful, not the B-52, sorry. The, was it B-1? What's the new plane? It's not the B-1. Sorry, the B-1's the Lancer. Fuck, man. What's the, round saucer called? My mind is blanking right now.
A UFO?
No. Well, that's why I kind of want to show you, because it looks like a UFO, to be honest with you. What's it called? Maybe it is the B-51. No, the B-52 is the Stratos Fortress. No, what's this fucking thing called, man? Just look up American U.S. bomber. Raider. It's called the Raider.
The Raider?
Yeah, the Raider. It's the newest one. You're probably gonna need to Raider bomber. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, there it is. Such a pretty plane. And the white one is the newest version. So this plane also only discovered on accident. But what does that look like to you, bro? Look at a UFO or what? Anyways, my point is, like, in general here, is the fact that every time we've looked back on technology in the sky and we've thought it's some alien race or some unknown technology never seen before, man, it's usually just the most advanced country, and that's been the U.S. for quite a while.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's more than likely that there is no such thing as aliens and all these UAP bullshit is just planes.
That's my guess. I think it's the most logical one.
And they're kind of, I think it's become a talking point because we want to distract people from what's going on.
Well, I think they're about to do some cool shit. on our
Yeah,
enemies,
yeah.
and they want they want some bamboozlement going on, which was the same here. These planes would drop bombs, completely obliterate an area, and then the U.S. would be like, I don't know what happened, bro. No idea.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck
Is
happened.
what it is.
Exactly, and there's a lot of that going on constantly. We don't talk about, but almost always when we look at these events, these like crazy historic events, usually the simplest answer is what's going on. Maybe it was Israel, but do I think there's an entire cult that was dedicated and knew about 9/11 way in advance and they created all this hidden messaging going on? I don't think so. I think it's just happenstance.
Yeah, I mean,
How
this is such like a
how much
this
slosh
is
of content comes out every day?
this is such like a weird way to preface such a boring press conference. The time for transparency has come.
Well, even go before that. She posted, just look in her post. She posted like, "This is going to impact the entire nation," and it's like, again, this person has been very passionate about this stuff for like over 10 years. So I kind of understand, but dude, why did you say that? It's not like you dropped any bombshell today. We know that the JFK files and the MLK files were getting declassified. You're basically
Yeah.
just the figurehead to lead, like to talk about it, and it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, we both kind of came into this knowing it was going to be meh, or figured it was going to be meh, and unfortunately it is. Now, maybe we will get more bombshells because Trump is just so fucking full of them, but yeah. Again,
Yes.
even here, simplest answer is usually the correct one.
Yeah, I think it's pretty crazy that all this bullshit is like, and it was so funny to me. It's the funny shit. 9/11 happens. Everyone just immediately believes it. They believe what the media tell them. Oh, it
Yeah,
was the Muslims. We gotta go to war. Has to happen.
I mean, in a way, it was the Muslims. Like, here's the thing about these type of events, and I think they did the same thing with the Trump assassination. Is it easier to create this insane logistics to actually do the event, or is it just easier to let someone else do it? So, like, I don't know. Just do I think there's an entire cabal at the top who is like masterminding this event down to the smallest degree? No.
Probably.
Do I think maybe somebody saw that it was going to happen and they were just like, okay, let them do it because we know
Yes.
what it'll happen? Yeah, probably. That makes way more sense to me.
You ever looked up dancing Israelis?
Oh, during 9/11 or whatever.
Yep. See how they call it a conspiracy theory on Google?
Well,
'Cause
it's
Google is
no. Well,
owned by, paid for.
okay, yes and no, but the reason it's called a conspiracy theory is because this thing is reading directly from the internet, and most of the internet calls it a conspiracy theory. So it's just a reflection. It's not a reflection of truth. It's a reflection of common voice. People really need to
But look at
understand
what
that.
it's calling conspiracy theory. It's a conspiracy theory term that refers to people who are said to have videotaped the aftermath of the September 11 attacks while appearing to be joyful and mocking. How is that a conspiracy theory when I can look up right here?
I don't know. What? Why were they dancing? Because they wanted it to happen, or just for fun?
Yes. Once again, Doug, non-Jews are Gentiles, and Gentiles are less than cattle. You see, you look at all these things, and they always post like sources. Like, there's never. Once again, I was just looking for the specific image, and that's one of them. But once again, Israel knew it was going to happen. That's a given.
I mean, here's the other thing too that I think people get wrong about this time is that like there were terrorist attacks in every country. There
There
were
still are.
no, I know, but during this specific time period, not modern, but like back then, there were major terrorist attacks across the globe. There was actually there was some in Russia, there were some in France, there were some in Eastern Europe, and then in the U.S.
Hmm.
I only that's the other thing to me where people kind of dismiss it like that. Where I mean, maybe they were all playing it, on purpose. It's possible. However, people kind of forget that that was not specific to the U.S. The U.S. was the one who did a call to arms. Was it? I don't know if it was planned or not. I'm not. I think it's kind of likely, to be honest. I'm just saying you don't need all this extra fat on your on your theory. You don't need it. You know what I mean? Like you don't need to be like, oh yeah, Epstein was a satanic cult leader who was taking kids and sacrificing them, and they're all in a cult, and they also have access to alien technology and they're beaming them to the island. You could just be like, yeah, he's a pedophile who fucking traffic kids, and I would just be like, okay, sure, bro, yeah, that makes sense. Like, you don't need all the extra fat, man. Like, I don't know.
The extra fat is what helps to really paint the best.
No, it doesn't.
Picture.
It fucking it makes people think you're retarded. Like, you could have just been like, oh yeah, here's the Pedestrian brothers. They're pedophiles. You didn't have to be like, oh yeah, here's a pizzeria and the dessert menu is weird, and they also
Why
also have a weird go
Why
picture.
isn't it already on the PDF, Doug?
Because you're
why?
you're just working in a weird direction. Like, I don't know
why do I have to ask for the dessert menu? Is the dessert menu children?
Dude, I sincerely doubt the dessert menu is fucking. There are easier ways to get, like, I don't know, dude. Things are so complex.
If I call up and ask for the dessert menu, are they going to ask me, black, Asian, or white?
Call him up, bro. Call him right now. What's the loss, dude? Call him up and ask for the dessert menu. Yeah.
The loss is that I die. That's the loss.
Oh, now you're scared of the fucking pedophiles in California coming to kill you.
That's a very highly likely possibility.
I don't.
If they're like he's onto us, kill him.
He's onto us, dude. All I'm saying is just fucking point at the actual crime and be like, "There's crime." You don't want to be like, "I think there's crime because the fucking cokehead's niece's dog has white on their nose, and their niece walks the dog to the uncle's house, and the uncle frequents this pizza place, and oh yeah, the pizza place's cousin's owner is a fucking cartel member." Like, you don't need to be weird about it. Just be like, yeah, that guy right there.
Weird. That's all necessary information. That's important.
No, it's not. It's not at all. If you had just pulled up that construction site and been like, those two people who own it, they're fucking pedophiles. And then even if you had went down the line, you'd be like, yeah, and I think this pizza place, they're pedophiles too. I probably would have been like, yeah, bro, probably. But like, you just went in like a reverse order, and I don't know why.
But nothing happened as a result, right? Like, nothing changed.
Of the reverse order? Or just calling it out, is what you're saying.
Just calling it out. Like, saying they're pedophiles is like,
I disagree. Okay. Again, there's
who's going to do anything?
No one. I mean, yes and no. Like,
if you don't add in all these extra pieces of information, if you don't really line out your investigation report with everything under the sun, then it's like, no.
Here's evidence where you're wrong. Here's where you're wrong. Most people knew that Drake really had a strong attraction to minors. It was very obvious. Most people knew that shit. Nobody actually cared until this other rapper made a diss track about it.
Yeah.
That
seems like a lot of extra fat to me.
No, the extra fat is all these fucking idiots who are like, well, look at Drake when he says this one specific line in his song. Look at Drake. He was really... They pull up pictures like, look how he's looking in this picture.
Yeah.
Here's the difference. Everybody knows Joe likes to sniff little children on the camera, right?
Yeah.
What most people don't know is that every single time there's a World Economic Forum or some meeting of the G7 or any other world event, there's a huge increase in prostitutes in the area. They literally get shipped in.
Awesome.
So do you think it's better to go and point at the fact that, okay, they're shipping in a lot of prostitutes, most of which are underage, or do you think it's better to show pictures of him sniffing children? Which one has more of an impact?
The sniffing children.
No, it doesn't. It does. It's false impact. That's why nothing gets done. Because you guys look at that and go, look, that's not a crime.
No one reads a piece of paper and acts on it. No one reads a piece of paper and acts on what's written on the piece of paper. That's the reality. You have to show them something concrete. That's why 9/11 was a great manipulation tactic. It was a great strategy. Show them 3,000 dead Americans, get them all to join the army, get them to literally waive away their rights using the prison program so that we can spy on their cell phones. Get them to waive away their rights for airport security and allow us to steal.
You're doing it again, dude. You're doing it again.
I'm adding in all the necessary information?
That stuff, it's not... It doesn't have to be all connected.
It's all
Those can
connected.
Be, those
it's
can
all
be
related.
No, because this is how you're painting the picture. This is the villain in your head. I know what
It
I'm
is
going
a
to
domino
do.
effect,
I'm
Doug.
I'm going to commit 9/11, and then I'm going to take away all their rights, and then I'm going to ship them
Doug,
new
that's literally.
globalism.
It is literally no, Doug, stop.
That's
Stop.
not.
It
That's
is literally.
literally.
It is a domino effect. It is a domino effect. They have
Yes,
outcomes
but
that they want to occur, right? Yes. But in order to have those outcomes occur, they need a domino effect to start occurring it, right? Yes. 9/11 was the starting point for it. And then the dominoes start falling. The prison program, TSA, airport security, taking gold from people that try to move it in between countries on flights. These are all connected things. They all came from the singular event of 9/11 happening. And then not only that, people enlisting in the military, going to Iraq, getting the oil from Iraq, killing people in Iraq. All of it's connected to 9/11, using it as a false flag event to start a war and take away people's rights. It is not extra fat. It is necessary information because it is directly connected and it's a direct result of 9/11.
Do you remember when you said you didn't like all of the? It was during the time period where a lot of the celebrities were getting ousted as pedophiles, and you were like, "Oh, it's not good that it's all happening at one time." Because now nobody takes a strong interest in one particular case, and the interest is spread out, and now nobody cares about any of them.
Correct.
This is the same exact problem. You go, oh,
How?
the TSA, oh, the gold, oh, the oil, oh, 9/11, oh, Jews. Like, dude,
Well,
you want
those things
people,
are all
you
those are
want
all
people to
tidbits
focus
that
on
can
all
no longer
five.
be changed. You cannot interact with those things anymore. They are not something that you can interact with anymore. You cannot manipulate or change those outcomes anymore. They've already happened. Right? Yes.
Okay, I'll tell you. We should make a deal. If something does come out of the disclosure from the files getting released on Epstein's case, right? That'll be an easy one. Or even
Names will be left
JFK.
out.
Whatever. I don't care if things will be left out. But let's say some people get arrested. Some high profile people get arrested. Then your
Okay.
point is mute, and your point is mute.
Well, the Epstein client list is a different scenario because when it comes to Hollywood, these people are getting ousted based on accusations, assumptions, word for word, just people talking peer to peer. Nothing was really getting concrete. And once again, it was spread out. There was never like, for example, with Drake. Like Drake's a pedophile. Here's an instance. Here's an example, right? And then you had a rapper making a song about it, right? Those are all targeted instances. But when it's spread out like that, no one's going to face any repercussions. They're just going to leave the country or go somewhere else or go into hiding or whatever. But when it comes to the Epstein client list, it's a flight log. It is an actual flight log because they recorded who was on each flight when they went there, when they landed.
That matters.
That's concrete data.
Less. Yeah, but the problem is that Epstein wasn't just a sex trafficker. He
was.
No, he wasn't. He was a high-profile divorce lawyer, specifically when it came to avoiding taxes. That was his biggest thing. He was really good at helping people avoid paying taxes. That was like by far the biggest thing he was known for. Maybe, obviously, there was a lot of partaking in the other stuff too, and maybe that was like a way to like make sure they don't, turn on him. I don't know, but I do know the biggest reason he had so many connections to so many people was the lawyer thing.
Yeah, that's part of
Most people don't know that about him, but that's what he was known for. He was literally really good at helping people avoid taxes. The biggest one was Bill Gates. Bill Gates' wife, when he divorced her, didn't get nearly as much money as you'd think, and most of that advice and actions that came from it was after a meeting with Epstein. But that was the biggest thing Epstein was known for, was helping people avoid taxes. At least, in the main sphere. Do I think that other stuff was going on too? I mean, obviously, right? Like, obviously. No, I don't know.
Both of them are bad.
Yeah.
And obviously both of them are punishable.
Well, when I say avoiding taxes, I mean somewhat like legally. You know what I'm saying? The classic.
There is no such thing as legally avoiding taxes.
There is only such thing as legally avoiding taxes. There are so many ways to avoid taxes. It's not even funny. Like, it's literally not even close. Not only can you avoid taxes, you can get money. I agree with you. Most people agree, but it is really easy to avoid taxes. Really easy.
I set up a nonprofit charity foundation, and we're going to be donating the money that was given to us by people who donated at the Walmart when they rounded up. We're going to be using that roundup money to pay for our taxes instead. That way we don't have to actually pay taxes.
It's literally not even that complex, bro. Here it is. I'm a rich guy. I want to avoid taxes. I start a foundation. Cures cancer, right? Whatever. I don't care. Then I
Yeah.
look at you and I go, hey, bro, you want to make a lot of money? Go ahead and run my foundation. And then I just give you money to start this foundation. And you do a bunch of bullshit, nothingness, spend money. Then you hire a bunch of your friends to do this, and so on and so forth. And then the money just circles back over and over again. And when I go up for election or I want something done, you just lobby in my behalf. And that's how the money goes in circles. That's how the Clintons do it. That's how everyone does it. That's just how it's done. You start some bullshit foundation where you try and see how fast shrimp can run on a treadmill, and then you pay some fucking moron who's your nephew or your long distance cousin or some, whatever. That's just how it's just on that circle. It's really not
See,
this shit is
that
not
wouldn't work with
complex,
me,
bro.
Doug.
It's not
That wouldn't work
complex.
with me.
It's really simple shit going on. That's why it took Elon 2 days to fucking be like, what the hell is this shit? You're like, dude, they
Yeah.
opened the book once. Oh, can you pull up the pictures I sent you of the of all the different wastes of money going on? This again, the simplest answer is usually the most correct. Okay, it's not complex, guys. It's really not. Look at this stupid shit. Okay, new Sesame Street show in Iraq. Okay, do you think the person who set up the program, he went to the highest power above him and was like, please, those Iraqis, if we just start Sesame Street for them, we can really make a difference. No, bro, no. You want to know how it went? He went to his best friend and he said, hey, dude, I'm friends with Biden, or Biden's fucking dementia, whoever's actually running the scene, they're trying to give me a bunch of money. I'm gonna start some bullshit, and we're gonna make a lot of money. Okay, so
Yeah.
they go, I'm sorry, they make up some nonsense,
Yeah.
i.e., new Sesame Street show in Iraq. They say, oh, I'm gonna need 20 million to start this show because I don't even, God knows why you would need that much money. They give him the 20 million because they love writing checks off to their friends. I mean, we all would do it, right? Let's be honest. We would all write money off to our friends if we could. So then he gets that 20 million, and then I go, hey, Braden, you want to go to Iraq and make fucking $10 million doing
Probably
nothing,
not, to be honest
playing
with you.
with puppets? I know, right? Like, fair enough, fair enough. And then, some dude is like, sure, bro, I'll go to Iraq, make 10 million, and then, hey, I kick back 5 to you. That's just how it goes. It's not complex, bro. It's not complex at all. Grant to fund sex changes in Guatemala. Do you know how much it costs to pay a surgeon in Guatemala to do a sex change? And how many Guatemalans want sex changes? Probably 5. It probably costs $5 also each. Like, you know where that money's going? Into that person's pocket. And that's it, dude. That's literally it. To transform digital spaces to reflect feminist democratic principles. What the fuck does that mean? Meals to Al Qaeda linked terrorist group. Teaching Sri Lankans journalists to avoid a binary gendered language. I mean, come on, man. Like, this is all just money swindling. There's nothing complex going on here. That's why I say, like, I don't think you need to go so deep with the conspiracies. I think it's all really simple shit.
I mean, yeah, it's simple. But
It could be as simple. It could be as simple as they're just so stupid they left the door open for the Muslims to come in. Like, I don't know. It could just be so simple. I think you're overestimating the intelligence of these people.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I think they know what they're doing. I think they're intelligent. That's how they've gotten to the position they are. I don't think it's by luck or chance.
Do you think you're
they're-
intelligent?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fair enough then.
I think I'm very stupid. I just know how these people think.
Okay. Well, I'm not gonna dissect that further. But I mean, what the hell is going on? I didn't even read these before I sent them to you. What's the next one? What's the other one?
The other one was like less money, but
I mean, really?
yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is less money. Who leaders
Not
praise
as
terrorism, helping disabled people in Tajikistan become climate leaders. Bro,
I mean,
What? Gender diverse people in Bangladesh. Bangladesh is currently in the middle of a civil war. I don't think that money's helping anyone. Advancing DEI in Serbia workplaces. Like, what is going on, man? Come on. And again, it took what's his name 2 seconds to look at this shit and go, this shit's gotta end. Like, it, I don't even know. At this point, I don't even think it's worth talking about. Like, it's just so fucking stupid. It's
I think it's
crazy.
based.
Yeah, giving nepotism is very base, but it's just gotten to a level that's just absurd.
Yeah. I mean, this is only like a very small amount too.
I
I'm
know.
more
This
concerned
is
about where the billions went, not the millions.
this is the 1%. This is 1% that they've looked at
Yeah.
of the federal spending. So they
Oh,
they
yeah.
are now looking at the big ones. So they've been directed to look at the Pentagon, which
That's the only thing I really care about is that the federal spending gets routed to the American people. That's all I really
yeah.
care
I
about.
mean, I would like to see a lot of this go directly to our pockets. I don't think people realize how rich the U.S. is in general, like how much we make. If we didn't
Yeah.
if we didn't spend a single dollar on any funding whatsoever, like any expenditure of our money in
Yeah.
terms of like towards our people or outside the country, if we literally just took our paycheck for the year and spent it on debt, it would all be gone that year.
Yeah.
Gone. It would take us
Yeah.
1 year if we didn't do Social Security, welfare, Pentagon. If we didn't spend on any of that shit. I mean, some of that's good, but if we didn't spend on any of that, we just paid the debt. It would take us 1 year. Do you know how crazy
Yeah.
that is? Like, how
Yeah.
many of you would like to pay off your debt in a year if you could?
That'd be nice.
Yeah. So this shit, again, this is just 1% of the budget. They've already looked at 1% and they've been able to cut 1 billion a day.
Nice.
Their
That's
goal
good.
is 2 billion a day.
Okay.
At
A
least
little more to
I
go.
think, yeah. They'll get their really. They've only looked at 1%. They're looking at the Pentagon. The Department of Education is gone, by the way. It's not well known right now, but it's gone. That shit, fucking gone. And that's an area.
That was like my favorite money laundering scheme.
Yeah, that one is the one that pisses me off the most. And I keep trying to tell, a lot of my teacher friends also happen to be liberals or Democrats, and I'm like, you guys don't understand that they're just taking the money from you. Like, you guys are fucking stupid. They're literally just taking the dollars that should go straight to your pocket from you, and they're doing fuck all with it. Again, it's more money laundering.
Wait, Elon Musk said it on MSNBC?
Yeah,
Wait, I need to see this.
it's already cut. It's not like official,
Oh yeah, I want
but
to see
it's
him
cut.
saying it.
I think he said it to a reporter. I don't know if it was on camera.
See, I always think it's so stupid that they're still trying to do like this moralist argument. If they eliminated the Department of Education and its funding, that's $500 million in meals for our kids that otherwise might go to children.
I don't even. Here's the thing. Can you look up how much money is given or is the Department of Education gets a year? Budget or funding, I guess. Not revenue because they don't make money. They just take money and spend it. I don't know. Budget, I guess, would be about 1.1 trillion. Okay, 1.1 trillion dollars. That's since 119. How many? Look up how many children there are in America. Let's do a little math.
73 million.
Can my calculator even do that much?
73 million. So then we can do cost per child's meal per year
Dude, I
in
don't even
school.
care about the meal. Just divide. Just give each. Just have that money spread to each child. How much money would they get per child?
The average cost of a child's school meal per year is around $537. So if we take a calculator, we'll round it up.
I'm not worried about the meal. Just do the whole thing.
I am.
I don't care about the meal,
73.
dude. You could easily pay off every child's meal with that amount of money. It wouldn't even be close.
So technically speaking, he's not wrong. However, the meals are overpriced for one, and two, you should just bring your own lunch anyway.
Yeah, but
'cause the school meals are shit.
that's the problem with these departments. Is my camera's
Yeah.
a little fuzzy. The biggest problem with these departments, especially education,
Yeah.
is that whenever they're put in place to make things cheaper or better for, the average American, they
Yeah.
end up partnering with one specific company, creating a monopoly, and then that company raises prices to oblivion.
Yeah.
And usually it's not even good for you. And this happens specifically in education, but also with medicine. Like those are the two biggest areas that it's like and farming.
Yeah.
It's those three places where
Oh, yeah,
there are
those guys.
entire monopolies in the field because of these departments. These departments are scams. They basically become they morph with a company to become a part of
Yeah.
the permanent government. It's so unhealthy.
Yeah. Hey, Doug, do you know who this guy is at all?
Yeah, he is a security who was sent to make sure the senators couldn't get into the building.
Really?
Yeah,
Because this video is just hilarious. I'm
I
gonna
know.
watch this again.
Yeah, it's fucking funny. So the
You
senators
see,
here,
he is so fucking. He's such a Chad, dude. Look at him.
the senators and House Representatives, they did a little protest. I think this is outside the Department of Education. I'd be
Yeah,
wrong.
it is.
Yeah,
This dude's sitting here against like a fucking 1,000 people,
Yeah.
and he's just like, I'm not fucking moving.
yeah, and they Doge and Trump had sent security here to make sure they couldn't get in.
Yeah.
I mean, the Democrats are pissed because it's their
Oh, yeah.
paychecks who are losing money. Their wallets are losing money here.
Yeah.
And I think it's really interesting that
Oh
there
my
aren't any
God.
Republicans who are against this stuff.
Elon is allowed in the Department of Education, not your elected representatives or students or parents. I will be back. What is this Department of Education you keep talking about? I just checked, and it doesn't exist.
Well, here's the simple thing. Here's the simple fact, right? Ever since the Department of Education was created, our standard, our test scores have not gone up, and we pay the most per child in the world. So
Yeah.
that's however you feel about this department, it's not doing its job. It's clearly, it's failed. Whatever it was supposed to do, it's not working. Get rid
Yeah.
of it. I want to see
Yeah.
all of the money that is supposed to go to these departments go straight to the fucking states.
Literally anywhere else, actually.
Exactly,
Literally anywhere else.
exactly, dude. In my brain earlier, I was talking with somebody and I was like, bro, I don't care if they sent this money to fucking
Israel. Israel. Israel needs the money.
Even if it went to Israel, they'd probably spend
At least
it better
it's going
than us.
somewhere.
Let's be
Yeah,
honest,
probably.
dude.
Yeah.
Either way, that's the funny part, right? Is that most of
Yeah.
us are just like, dude, we don't care where the money goes after. We just want to no longer in your hands because clearly you're fucking it up. Literally anything has to be better than what you're doing. Anything has to be better than what's going on. But again, I've got a lot of friends who are teachers and they get paid dog shit. And this is why. This is where the money gets hung up. There's no shot that $119 trillion is going just to pay for these kids' meals. That's not what's going on. And if it was, why do you need an entire department to dish out the money? And like what?
Wait, that's interesting.
What?
We go to the Department of Education to fight for education, and they have locked the doors. They're not letting us in. It says all access entrance. There's this random guy out here who's refusing to let us in.
His name is
And right here, what's his name?
His name is Jim.
Oh, that bitch is crazy.
She's literally doxing his ass.
No, that bitch is crazy, bro. That bitch is crazy. That bitch
Literally
is
just putting
wild.
his fucking name out there. Like,
And right here, they have armed officers as well, acting like we're dangerous. A year ago.
I mean,
you are dangerous. You're taking a lot of money and silencing people.
I don't know. I feel like
throwing people in
aren't
prison
all
early.
officers armed? Isn't that like a normal
That's
thing?
true. Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, what cop isn't armed? Like, it's
I don't
America. I don't get it. And it's like, why wouldn't they be guarding a building, especially if it's in the process of getting shut down?
I don't
Like,
know.
maybe you don't know
but
that, but
again, I think it's hilarious that these guys are like, look, they're shutting down the
Making this
entire
decision.
building. Look,
yeah, I think
look,
this guy says it perfectly. It's been an empty building for years, and now all of a sudden Democrats want to get in there.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to protect our wallets. We all know it, and we just, obviously
Yeah.
we just don't care, man. Just shut it down. It's not working. Just give the money straight to the students. Just give it straight to the fucking
Look at
teachers.
Jim Harefield, dude. Look at fucking Jim though. He's just like, I don't give a fuck how many people you send here.
I mean, you know what's kind of funny? Not that I,
Yeah.
am like inciting violence or anything, but
Mm.
he's just one guy.
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious that like, they're protesting and trying to get in the building, but like, are you really? Like, what are you doing?
Honestly, I think Jim could take all of them.
I mean, that's kind of my point. Is that like,
Yeah.
what?
Look at him. That dude, not a sliver of doubt in that dude's eyes. Look at him. He's just like, I could take you. I could take you. I could fuck you.
Okay. I don't think he
Yeah.
wants to any of them. But yeah, so he's been sent to look at the Department of Education, which apparently they were just like, yeah, shut that bitch down. And then 2, he's going to audit the Pentagon, which Pentagon, being our military, has not been able to pass a single audit ever. And the only branch of the military that has been able to is the Marines. So kudos to you,
Yeah.
Marines. Go figure. You guys are just fucking there to get business done. It'll
Yeah, I
be
don't know. I feel like
interesting.
this is definitely like the kid having all of his toys taken away. He's screaming because he didn't expect them all to get taken at once.
Uh-huh. No, 100%. 100%. And on the flip side, it's pretty funny because I feel like Elon is a kid in a candy store.
Yeah.
He's just like,
Yeah.
oh, what the fuck? Dude, this guy's wasting money. This guy's wasting money. This motherfucker's wasting money. So they're expanding Doge. So I didn't know this, but there are only less than 10 members, and they're expanding
Yeah.
it to 40. So,
I feel like we're the Jews now. We're the
I don't know
Jews.
what that means.
We're the Jews now. We're the ones who care more about money than people's lives.
I mean, that's the funny part, right? Like, that's why
Yeah.
Trump is probably confusing the shit out of these guys, because he's sitting there like,
Like,
yeah, Gaza? Yeah, that's not yours. That's ours now. That's
we're the
our
Jews
land.
now.
We're
the Jews.
We're the Jews. You
We're
wanted
gonna bomb it.
You wanted Gaza? That's our Gaza. That's our
It's
Gaza.
our Gaza now.
You
It's
want
our
us
bombs
Department
now.
of Yeah, exactly. That shit's so funny to me, bro. I'm telling you, you gotta watch the interviews. It's so fucking funny. It's like they don't expect it, and he's just sitting there, and he's like, "Yeah, that's gonna be ours." And then these Arab leaders are sitting there like, "Huh? What? What did he just say?" He's like, "Yeah, that's mine now, right?" And they're just
Yeah.
like, I guess it's yours. I don't know what else to say. And the reporters are sitting there, and they think they're, doing Trump a disservice by asking him if he would leverage terrorists, but Trump just turns it in his favor, and he's like, nah, I don't gotta tariff you, right? Cool, bro.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
we don't want
Gaza
that.
the tariff. Yo, whose authority are you taking Gaza on? The U.S.'s authority? Hello?
Yeah. Hello, yeah. Biggest military in the world. We didn't spend
Yo,
all that money for nothing, right?
dude, I don't know. I'm glad to finally. I don't even care if he gets some. I'm just glad to see him fucking whipping the U.S. dick around. Like we used to kind of do it a little more, with grace. Like the big old
Yeah.
talk softly but walk with a big stick.
Yeah.
Teddy Roosevelt. Yeah, I mean that was a great motto. Somehow that
Yeah.
got lost, and we don't do that anymore. But we're kind of talk loudly and swing the
Yeah.
stick. So
Yeah.
uh.
Think times are changing.
Again, dude, I don't know. Again, maybe nothing will happen, but maybe
Oh,
stuff
do I need to
does
go back
happen.
to the sign?
Go ahead, pull up your favorite sign. It'd be cool if some stuff did happen. Every single time I doubt Trump, somehow he fucking manages to get it done.
Nothing ever happens.
The best example I think for this is actually Canada with the tariff thing. So Trump's come out and he's dead set. He said like he's gonna do his best to make Canada a state. The chaos behind the scenes has been that Canada, specifically the leaders, Trudeau, who's not supposed to be in office. I'm going to say that over and over again. He's not supposed to be there. He is illegally holding power under the guise of a national emergency, by the way.
Yeah.
But what was I saying? Oh, right. So behind the scenes, they didn't think he was serious when he said that shit. They didn't think he was serious. So when he actually put the tariff on them, they thought he was bluffing, and they said they were going to retaliate. They don't know what to do. He ended up meeting with a bunch of the CEOs of the companies, Canadian companies, and he was like, "Dude, I don't know what to do." There's a actual leaked audio of him saying, "I didn't think he was serious." On God, dude, there's a leaked audio of him saying that to somebody. He's like, Trump is serious. It's gonna be on X, otherwise you're not gonna find it.
Do I get an audio?
Dude, you're
Yes,
not
I
gonna
do have to go to
mainstream-
X.
You gotta go to X. You're not gonna find that
Why do
shit
I
on
always have to go to
mainstream
fucking Twitter?
Because mainstream media is controlled by aliens, specifically the
Whatever.
reptile race. Right there, it's the third one, right below that one.
This one?
Yes, but I don't know why Trump is the one speaking.
This one?
Maybe it's this one?
Keep my job,
No, this is different. Oh man, maybe.
Who applaud you because they have no idea how hate and
maybe I don't type audio. I don't think it had audio in the name. We'll talk about the AI summit next because I thought that was pretty hype. No. Damn it. I'm trying to think what
Google.
What it was. Hot mic. There it is. It's right there. Straight Arrow News.
Where?
Hot mic saying Trump is serious.
Publicly, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has downplayed U.S. President may be interested in wheat plans agreed on products. And statement.
They're not gonna play it. That's so cringe, man.
Oh.
Publicly, Canadian Prime Minister Justin.
Nope.
Well, we can just read it out at the very least. I think would be good.
Well, no, because now
you're dead set on finding it, so you know it exists.
Now I'm dead set on finding this fucking thing.
Yeah. So, I mean, while you look for it, they didn't. Again, people kind of look at Trump, and someone had told me this, where they were like, "Oh, I don't think leaders respect Trump," and I was kind of confused as to why they said that, but they were right in the sense that they don't respect him, and they probably should have, because now he's in office, and he's very serious about what he says, specifically about making Canada a state. And they didn't think he was going to actually follow through. And they're kind of on fire. And it's the same with Greenland. They didn't think he was serious. You see what he said? Can you play that again? I'm gonna make sure it's turned up for our audience.
Has it in mind that one of the easiest ways of doing that is absorbing our country, and it is a real thing.
He's serious, guys. He's serious.
Holy shit! Yeah, I mean, clearly that's not something you say if you're not used to it, and they're not. Yeah. They're not used to that shit. He's dead serious about absorbing Canada. He's applying pressure, and the Canadians are freaking the fuck out. To be honest, you can look at the state of Canada, and they are so unprepared for this. It's not even funny. One of the provinces of Canada, I believe it's the East Coast, gets their oil from the West Coast of Canada. But it doesn't go straight from west to east. It goes into the U.S. and then back up onto the east. And so the people who had control of the West Coast were like, oh, you know what? We'll just turn off the oil line. If they do that, their East Coast won't be able to get oil. They'll literally be shooting themselves in the foot. And the U.S. obviously has access to fucking, infinite amounts of oil. Yeah, right. And that's just the fucking, that's a sprinkle on this cupcake. Like, it is so
I think Trudeau doesn't want to be the guy that was running the country when it gets absorbed by the United States. Like, do you really want to be known as the guy who lost to the United States in like a trade battle?
His image
and then you lost the country.
Already so bad. Like, he's one of the...
I think at this point he needs to resign and let someone else take over so it can be on their head and not his.
Again, I'm like, Canadian politics annoys the shit out of me, just the way that their government is structured.
Well, it's a shit country. It's just a shitty country. It's like a very beautiful land.
It's not a real country. I'm sorry, people are great. I love my Canadian friends. For some reason, I know a lot of Canadians. There's like a weird thing where Floridians and Canadians, they're like, tend to
well, it's like they
other.
have a beautiful landscape.
Yeah,
but
they do. They have great resources.
But what do they do with it? Nothing. The French are trash. The people are trash. The only Canadians that aren't trash are the ones that actually, speak comprehensible English and
It's
apologize
kind of funny.
and watch hockey.
The French Canadians are considered higher tier than the French.
Yeah, because it has Canadian and not French.
Maybe. I don't know, but I don't know. I really
I think
don't
France
know.
actually improved after they let the Muslims take over their country. I think France actually improved.
It hasn't, dude. I still see so many reports. I don't really care anymore because Trump
It is
won.
better to walk through a mile of trash within any French city than to see a single Frenchman.
I don't know. I think a lot of these European countries will swap right, same way the U.S. did, and everything will kind of get back on track. But
I think it's so funny, Doug, how we started this podcast expecting something to come out of this press conference, and it was a total fucking nothing burger.
I'm not that surprised. I'm
not either. You know why? Where is it?
I think
tapping the sign. Nothing ever happens.
It helps to look from the perspective of a boomer, in my opinion. That's kind of like how I view all these things. So for us,
because if I look, I don't want to lower my IQ any further.
Whatever. You have to understand that, like, for a boomer who's watching that, or not necessarily boomer, but maybe between the ages of like 45 and 65.
The lowest common denominator of individual, which is just a dumb American.
Sure. They're probably looking at that and they're like, whoa, like we're going to learn about JFK and MLK and, aliens or the UFOs and UAPs and maybe even 9/11. Imagine that. Imagine they hear about 9/11. They're probably like, what the fuck? What happened? What about 9/11? Do you know what I mean? Like, their minds are probably being blown. That's probably why she wrote, this is a really big deal. Because for the average American who saw that shit, they were probably like, aliens and JFK and 9/11. Like,
what's happening to the country? Oh my god.
Yeah, they're probably losing
Honey, turn on CNN right now.
Turn on CNN quick.
Do you have my Coca-Cola? Do you have my Coca-Cola? And football's coming on afterwards.
So it kind of helps explain why they do it from that perspective. And that also, for me, when I think about the Trump administration, it's kind of funny because he goes in there and he's at the top and he appoints all these people because he can, not because they want to be able to, but because he's won the Republican majority in both House and Senate, and for the simple fact that all of the people who they also didn't expect Trump to win, right? So now he's won. Yeah. They're scared that he just has so much power in terms of overturning their seats.
Well,
so
they don't need to be scared. It's over. It's over for them.
No.
It's over.
No, the Senate election comes up before the next presidential election, so they're worried their seats are going to get flipped before he gets out of office. You see what I'm saying? So
probably.
So if they don't bow to him now, then he just goes, oh, look, this senator isn't doing what I want. And then in 2 years from now, when the election, I think maybe it's next year or the year after. In 2 years from now, then he can just point at them and be like, guys, don't vote for this fucker. Vote for this other dude and flip the seat. So a lot of the Republicans are just like, whatever you say, master, whatever you say, right?
Yeah.
The Democrats are all pissing themselves because not only are their seats going to be up for election, but also because their money's getting taken away from them. So anyways, so you have Trump at the top, and he put all these people who are, they call them loyalists, which they kind of are, who are all dismantling the government. So it's probably freaking a lot of people out, reasonably from their perspective is what I'm saying. Reasonably from their perspective.
It's a shame that nothing ever happens. Tapping the sign. Sign tap.
I think things happen slowly. They don't happen as fast as you would like. Which
nothing ever happens. Tapping the sign. Tap, tap, tap. Is the sign tapping motion.
So there's the AI summit going on right now.
I don't care about the AI summit.
I care about the AI thing for me was the biggest voting line. It was the biggest reason I voted. And in the same way that mainstream media was controlled and blah, 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 blah. Dude, the previous administration had locked AI in a way that was really tyrannical. Yeah. I literally can't put into words how bad it was, but AI is going to replace a lot of things systemically, in terms of how we interact with the digital world and even some of the parts of the physical. And the idea that that previous administration, dude, was literally hard locking it so that the only people who were going to make those machines were people that, you know, listen to them directly. I didn't like that shit at all, bro. That shit freaked me out to my bones, dude. To my bones. We were about to get locked in some kind of crazy dystopia that, like, should probably have terrified more people than me.
We're already in a dystopia. The dystopia is here, Doug.
I disagree. But JD Vance, Vice President JD Vance, he talked at the summit and he kind of spat on every European counterpart. It was kind of funny. He was like,
"Good.
I really like his speech. Actually, can you pull it up? It's like 5 minutes. Just JD Vance AI X should come up pretty quickly, or YouTube should be on either. So the AI summit, a lot of the world leaders got together and they're talking about AI in terms of its implication and uses. He gives a good speech. We don't have to watch all 15 minutes of it. But.
Which was the title of the conference a couple of years ago. I'm here to talk about AI opportunity. When conferences like this convene to discuss a cutting-edge technology, oftentimes I think our response is to be too self-conscious, too risk-averse. But never have I encountered a breakthrough in tech that so clearly calls us to do precisely the opposite. Now, our administration, the Trump administration, believes that AI will have countless revolutionary applications in economic innovation, job creation, national security, care, free expression, and beyond. And to restrict its development now will not only unfairly benefit incumbents in the space, it would mean paralyzing one of the most promising technologies we have seen in generations. Now, with that in mind, I'd like to make 4 main points today. Number 1, this administration will ensure that American AI technology continues to be the gold standard worldwide, and we are the partner of choice for others, foreign countries, and certainly businesses as they expand their own use of AI. Number 2, we believe that excessive regulation of the AI sector could kill a transformative industry just as it's taking off, and will make every effort to encourage pro-growth AI policies. And I like to see that deregulatory flavor making its way into a lot of the conversations this conference. Number 3, we feel very strongly that AI must remain free from ideological bias, and that American AI will not be co-opted into a tool for authoritarian censorship. And finally, number 4, the Trump administration will maintain a pro-worker growth path for AI, so it can be a potent tool for job creation in the United States. And I appreciate Prime Minister Modi's point. AI, I really believe, will facilitate and make people more productive. It is not going to replace human beings. It will never replace human beings. And I think too many of the leaders in the AI industry, when they talk about this fear of replacing workers, I think they really miss the point. AI, we believe, is going to make us more productive, more prosperous, and more free. The United States of America is the leader in AI, and our administration plans to keep it that way. The U.S. possesses all components across the full AI stack, including advanced semiconductor design, frontier algorithms, and of course, transformational applications. Now, the computing power this stack requires is integral to advancing AI technology. And to safeguard America's advantage, the Trump administration will ensure that the most powerful AI systems are built in the U.S. with American-designed and manufactured chips.
Yeah, let's go.
Now, just because we're the leader doesn't mean we want to or need to go it alone, of course. And let me be emphatic about this point. America wants to partner with all of you. And we want to embark on the AI revolution before us with the spirit of openness and collaboration. But to create that kind of trust, we need international regulatory regimes that fosters the creation of AI technology rather than strangles it. And we need our European friends in particular to look to this new frontier with optimism rather than trepidation. Now, the development of cutting-edge AI in the U.S. is no accident. By preserving an open regulatory environment, we've encouraged American innovators to experiment and to make unparalleled R&D investments. Of the $700 billion, give or take, that's estimated to be spent on AI in 2028, over half of it will likely be invested in the United States of America. Now, this administration will not be the one to snuff out the startups and the grad students producing some of the most groundbreaking applications of artificial intelligence.
Okay, dude, do you hear what he just said? They're not going to snuff out startups and grad students. That's what they were doing in the last. He's calling them out indirectly, but that's what they were doing in the last under. I don't. It's weird blaming Joe Biden because that guy had no control over anything. But under last administration,
the Biden administration.
I know, but like really, like how many? You think that guy was actually doing anything?
No, but like under the Biden administration, right?
Sorry,
like we say Biden administration, but we really mean his cabinet.
Right, exactly. Dude, they did exactly what he said. They were snuffing all of the early development and independent development for AI out. Like you couldn't get that shit done, bro. Like it was insane. Like for a brief 4 years, we literally turned and had more regulations than Europe, which is insane. It's so insane. Like it was crazy what they were doing to us. They were strangling everybody, dude. They were literally strangling us. It's wild. It's so wild. So
It's wrong think. It's wrong think to make AI that doesn't coincide with the authoritarian fascist regime, right?
What is wrong think?
You don't know what wrong think is?
Why would I ask if I knew?
It's a reference to George Orwell's 1984.
Ah, okay. What specifically is? What's the reference?
It's just a reference to someone that's not thinking in line with what the government wants you to think.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, dude. I couldn't tell any. Well, I talked to people, but like nobody truly understands what the fuck I'm saying when I'm talking about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna be like, yeah, Doug, sure, bro. The AI, yeah, dude, click. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
So that shit worried me to my core. Like, I just really saw us going down a path. It negatively affected my health to a degree that it shouldn't have. But when I think dystopia, that's when I thought dystopia, because I thought like there was no way to get around it. Like if you're gonna make an AI, which you can right now, all of us could. It's really quite simple, and you should be able to, because there's going to be there'll just be a lot of reasons to make it, especially for yourself.
Yeah.
But they just had strangled that industry, at least the independent part, to a degree that was wild, man. And it was such an assault on free speech. Free speech and AI need to become connected in people's minds, because that's how it's made. It's made off of free speech, and our right to have access to it is also covered under freedom of speech. And they were taking that away from us. It was really quite wild. So when he says that shit, he's directly talking about them and what they did. And when he talks about, deregulation, he's talking about Europe. Europe doesn't have any AI that's even close to China or the US levels. It's not even close. And the first thing Europe did when AI was, becoming mainstream, the very first thing they did was say, pause, we need to talk about regulations first. That's the very first thing they did. And they talked about it, but then they needed to pass it. Again, the EU, the way it works is these countries, they have to come to an agreement. And we're talking 30 countries all have to come to agreement. So not only do the countries have to come to agreement, but the independent parties, because in Europe there's more parties, in most countries there's more parties than just two. So imagine not just Republicans, Democrats having to get along. Imagine Republicans, Democrats, the Independents, the Green Party. I can't even think of the
Nazis.
Parties. The Nazis, sure, whatever. They all have to get into an agreement with each other. And then that would be the U.S. But you have to go a step beyond that, where the U.S. would have to agree with, Mexico and Canada and Japan. They did that. Literally, the Biden administration tried to get that to happen, to be a little EU. like EU. And the EU did it. They like paused. Hold on, we need to figure out regulations. So then all the parties got together and had to write some shit up, and then that went up to the European Union level, and then they have their own parliamentary system, so they all had to agree, and so on and so forth. You get it. It took them 5 years just to pass the regulations so that these developers can develop anything, and they can't. Excuse me. They can't because it just costs too much money to follow regulations. It doesn't make sense. You just don't do it. So now Europe is, I don't know, 5 years behind everybody else, probably, maybe more. Do you know where most of the European AI comes from?
They're assholes.
The UK. Most of the AI companies in Europe are coming from the UK. And a part of me, here's my conspiracy theory, is that the UK, the US, mine are better than yours.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I think the US told the UK to leave the European Union when they did, so that when AI came about, they could evolve faster with the US. And I also think there's going to be a push for getting the UK to join the US as a state. I think the U.S. is going to push for a lot of countries to become states. I think they'll do it for the U.K. specifically. I think they'll do it maybe for New Zealand, Greenland, obviously, Canada. The Five Eyes.
Yeah.
You ever hear about the Five Eyes? Australia's, I don't know, kind of independent, but they've also been kind of a U.S. underling for quite a while. But I genuinely think the U.S. gave them a heads up on that and was like, hey, bro, get out of the European Union. It'll be better for you. That's my best guess.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think we need to go back to Britannia. That's what we need. It needs to happen. It needs to be a new royal family.
Oh no.
And we need to start the oligarchy all over again.
Oh God, no. Did you hear about Anonymous?
No, what they do?
They posted a video on talking
X.
about Trump. Yeah.
On X. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I always forget these people exist.
Message to the people of the United States and Trump. Is this it?
Oh, yeah. We don't have to watch it.
No. It's okay.
Of the United States. The effects of Donald Trump's presidency are no longer distant warnings. They are here, unfolding before you. While many remain unaware, blinded by the administration's relentless efforts to suppress the truth, the rest of the world is watching, and it is responding. Long-standing alliances with key nations such as Canada and Mexico are fracturing inch by inch. The cracks are widening, and the global community is reassessing its trust in the United States. The question is no longer if, but when these relationships will collapse.
Okay, I stopped listening. This guy's retarded.
Yeah. I like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, is that it? Is that the only anonymous post?
I mean, they threatened Elon at some point. Anyways, they said that, what did they say? They're threatening the Doge department, and they said that they need to give back all the data they stole. That was their threat. And I don't know what they say in the video, but they posted it. And if you don't know who Anonymous is, it's a fucking, I don't know. They were kind of a famous hacker.
Oh yeah, this guy says it perfectly. You guys were cool once. Now you're CNN.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
This is now a tired out, co-opted, and now copied meme. Believe me, this is not anywhere near the true Anon group. It also completely lacks the character of the initial movement. Yeah, brought to you by the Democratic Party.
Yeah, I don't know. Anonymous was like I don't know. It was kind of something that techies looked
Anonymous
up to.
with a blue check.
Yeah. Well.
Yes.
Yeah. But anyways, if you wanted to see something funny, so you heard that JD Vance goes on for about 15 minutes. He speaks quite well about AI. It seems very clear. When I watched it, I took a fucking deep breath. I'm hoping, I breathed out. I'm hoping they mean what they say. I think they do, just because they have all been under the effects that they're talking about, the censorship effects, and they seem to, obviously Elon's in their heads. They've partnered with a lot of techies in the field. They seem to have brought in the experts and are not just relying on the same the tech knuckleheads that have been in power for 20 years. They brought in a lot of fresh meat. They seem to really understand how the technology works, where it can take them and where they want it, and how they're going to get there.
Yeah.
I kind of agree with him. So originally I thought it was just going to replace everybody, that classic fear. I've kind of stepped down a little bit, and I realized, God bless America, but
yeah.
I think how this technology is going to work is that everyone is going to need a chatbot. Everyone's going to need a chatbot of themselves, and they're going to need someone to make a chatbot, and that'll be their work. That'll be a part of their working life.
Mine's probably just going to say a lot of racial slurs.
Maybe, but it'll be you.
Okay.
Or it'll be an extension of yourself. I think I had kind of like said that was
Hey,
a
Braden, I'm
possibility.
outside your front door with your DoorDash meal. Are you there? Go fuck yourself.
Maybe. I think it'll be a lot like that though, and specifically for the U.S. because these companies can't really do the dystopian. Have you seen the new Blade Runner movie?
Yeah.
Do you know how it has that chick who, or the what is it called? The AI that's based on the chick. But she's like, you see it all the time. It's the what's her name? Ana de Armas. She's like, you're Joe. Fuck, dude. You know what I'm talking about? You know the chick, his AI girlfriend in the fucking movie. Have you seen the movie?
Yes.
Yeah. So originally, people thought that you could just create something like that and then send it out without using someone's likeness or personality or voice. But you can't. You can't do that. I mean, you can, but it's illegal. So the only way around that is that you have to pay somebody to use their likeness, right? Like that's the only other way. So I think that's gonna be what happens is that they can't actually just go in and replace us entirely, and instead, and pretty much
they have to pay us first, and then we'll let them.
With ourselves, ironically, I guess, right? Oh.
I mean, I'm not gonna be doing none of that. So.
Okay, that's fine. I think for some fields, for a little bit, you won't have to. But I'm
not really gonna get involved with AI. I think it's
you'll have to.
I think it's bull. I mean, I already have it. I already have it on my fucking Google searches. I don't need it anymore. I don't need any more AI in my life.
It'll pervade. Here's how I think it'll kind of take a next step forward. So you're right. It's already in your Google searches. The biggest problem with that is it's pulling from mostly outdated databases, or it's just, it's web crawling. There's a pretty easy way to stop web crawling. A lot of the social media companies have already figured out how to do it, right?
Yeah.
So what they'll do instead, especially now, what he was talking about, that the previous administration was stomping this out and giving power to all the mainstream ones. I think what will happen is that you'll see every website will want a chatbot to represent their website.
They already do.
I know they already do, but
the only way AI can affect my life at this point is if a robot delivers my Amazon packages. That is it. There is nothing else. There is nothing else. There's no other way that AI can impact my life. There is. I'm sorry.
Okay. Whatever you say, dude. It'll impact your life in every single way.
No, I'm being dead serious. There's no other way that AI is going to impact my life.
Okay.
Unless there's a robot delivering my fucking Amazon packages.
Okay.
That is it. That's the only way.
You're wrong, but that's okay. You'll see. You'll see in a very short period of time.
I'm sorry. And unless there's someone at the gas station counter. There's a robot at the gas station counter. That's the only other way.
It'll affect you in every single way. Don't worry. It'll be okay.
Nope.
It'll be okay.
It won't. It won't be okay. I will not be okay with it. No, I'm telling you, Doug. I don't. Like,
here's what I think will happen. Okay, it will, and then you'll feel so lonely that you will buy into the AI girlfriend phase. You will.
Nope. I don't care about any of that.
Okay.
Doug, I have my left hand in Pornhub. I don't need that.
Pornhub's gonna evolve. You'll see.
I hate AI porn. It sucks. It's so dehumanizing and soulless. I mean, then again, porn is already dehumanizing and soulless. But that's besides the point, Doug. It's supposed to be Jewish. It was supposed to be Jewish all along, and they've made it into this AI bullshit, Doug. I can't take it anymore. I can't take it. I'm losing my mind. I'm losing my Jewish mind.
Anyways,
Yeah.
I think people. I'm hoping. Here's where I fit in. I've learned how to make AI chatbots, both with every model, both Gemini or the Google. It's like the pre-Gemini. Gemini's without the personality. You kind of design the personality, give it the database you want to use, blah blah blah. I know how to do it, and I know how to do it for GPT, and I know how to do it without either of them. And I'm hoping that it picks up for me, so that I can fucking make some money doing it and actually make my own stuff. But I expect that'll probably be one of the rising job fields here shortly, is just people making AI chatbots for these companies and for other people to help represent them. And then I think after that phase, so that's the like making the farm equipment phase, where people design the tractors, right?
Doug, I hate tractors so much.
That'll be the making of the tractor phase, and then we will have these chatbots to do things for us. Yeah.
What is it gonna do for me?
You'll find out, dude.
I'll find out. You'll figure it out. I don't need a chatbot, Doug. What's the chatbot gonna say to me? Hey, I need you to call someone a racial slur in a game for me. Can you do that real quick, Mr. Chatbot? Oh yeah, sure. No problem. No problem, Mr. Bray. I can get it done real quick, sir. Like, yeah, okay, buddy. Listen, you can't just call them a racial slur. You have to like lead into it with a joke. Yes, Mr. Bray. Blah 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 blah.
You've literally used AI like 10 times during this call to do a Google search for you.
I've used Google to do Google search for me.
It's not AI. Google's algorithm is the closest we had to AI before we have actual AI.
Look, I typed in bitches. Where was AI when I typed in bitches?
It's a no word.
It's a no word, so AI won't do that for you, you see? But AI totally going to be a chatbot if it doesn't want to deal with censored product.
Also, do you remember when you said nothing happens in Greece?
Nothing ever happens. You
cursed them with a volcano.
Yeah,
something weird is going on. Hold on. Go look up on X red rivers. For some reason, 2 rivers in South America randomly turned red, and they're trying to figure out why.
Wait, and where?
In South America, 2 different countries. I want to say Venezuela or Argentina and Peru. Could be wrong.
Wait, you said I cursed them?
No, you cursed Greece with a volcano, but no, this isn't it. It's caused by runoff of nearby. Maybe this is what people are freaking out. I don't know. No, look up volcano.
Buenos Aires.
Buenos Aires. Okay, yeah, sorry. I don't know. 2 rivers randomly turned red, so they're trying to figure out what it is. It probably is just runoff. Look up hit news.
Doug, am I the Antichrist?
Yeah, I don't know. You're cursed or something, but you cursed them.
Well, no, Doug, because it's also funny because remember all the plane crashes that have been happening?
Yeah.
So I tried to do that psionic like remote control conscious thing or whatever, right?
I
tried to send out a psionic signal that essentially sent it out to any pilot that was on like the same frequency as B to like essentially fall out of the sky and crash the plane, right? And then all of a sudden we have all these plane crashes happening. And then I guess I cursed Greece with a volcano, and now they have volcanic risk. Doug, maybe I'm just the Antichrist. And Doug, you know what's also funny is I had a premonition that my grandfather was going to die this summer, and so he fell down today, so he's not looking too good.
Is he in the
crazy,
hospital?
right? No, not yet.
Oh,
hopefully he is, so my premonition come true. But
Jesus, wow.
I know it's Doug. I think I might be actually an esper or a psychic or something. I'm serious. I might actually be like an esper or a psychic.
There's actually a word for these like type of things. I think they're called schizoid thoughts. Look up schizoid thoughts.
I am schizo, so.
Well, like people don't realize that schizophrenia, well, not schizophrenia itself, but you can have schizoid thoughts on varying levels. Nah, that's not it. There's a different word for it. Fuck, I can't remember.
You type in schizoid psychic.
Schizoid psychic? You just typing random words and mashing them together?
I guess.
I know it's kind of common for schizophrenics to do the same thing where they like they take events and they attach a lot of. Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Schizoid omnipotence and tendency towards spiritual.
Deleted. God, I hate Reddit so much.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, maybe I'm just like slightly psychic and I can like predict things every now and then, right? It's possible.
Here's what I think is going on. I think you say these. Well, maybe, dude. I was talking with my
I mean,
hairdresser.
honestly, Doug, what's like the percentage chances of me saying like volcano degrees?
What are
me
the
trying to like do stupid shit with my brain?
Nah,
to
but what are
make
the percentage
planes
chances that you say that shit out loud? It goes into my headset. Discord is heavily monitored by different AI algorithms, and then it shoves that shit into our feeds, and then we think, "Oh my god, how did you do that?" Even though
I didn't even know about a volcano in Greece until you said something.
Yeah, but I've also proved that the AI doesn't the auto detection doesn't only apply to your own device. So when you're speaking, my devices know that that's you talking, and vice versa. Yeah, I've proved it. I know that that's what happens. I know it's what happens.
Locals fear a volcano could erupt. Did I really curse them with a volcano? God, I'm sorry, Greece. Fuck. Damn, I'm sorry about that, guys. Your property value is probably in the shitter right now. Damn.
There's also a genocide going on in South Africa against white people. They're like in full revolt.
That's been going on forever. Blacks hate whites.
It's true.
Africa.
It is escalating though, and Trump has given sanction. Dude, he instantly allowed for the people to come here, the refugees. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean that's reasonable. They're essentially being killed off.
Yeah, they're being it's getting really crazy over there, like fucking.
But I mean, it's their fault for staying in Africa to begin with.
Well, South Africa was an attempt at
having high IQ or average IQ individuals mixed with low IQ mongrels.
Okay, Jesus Christ! What the?
I need to pull out the chart, Doug. I need to pull out the chart. I'm sorry, Doug. I have to keep doing this to you. Where is it?
I think you're a left-wing's worst nightmare.
Here's the chart, Doug. All right, let's see. Less than 65 IQ. This general area.
What? Wait, is South Korea just super insanely intelligent?
No, they're not nearly as intelligent as. Oh yes, yeah, they are actually. They're above 105 on average.
Look up.
And then you
can
have
zoom in on Israel. Apparently, Jews are the most intelligent ethnicity.
125 for Ashkenazi, but I don't know if Ashkenazis are even in Israel.
I don't know. I thought that was interesting.
Israel appears to be around 85, but I think that's dependent on something else.
Deflated.
Maybe. And then you have America, which is around like 95. And then you got Japan, which is obviously like above 100 for average. But yeah, no, Africa, lower IQ, which means more violence, more crime. So yeah, makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty basic stuff.
Well, I mean, I don't know. We'll see if that. I'm sure it'll get worse, but one of their politicians is like just outwardly calling for the death of white people. It's kind of funny. The Boers, the white farmers.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Advocating for the genocide of people. Isn't that grand?
Isn't that fucking hilarious? But like, I do want to tie this back to the UN. I fucking hate the UN, dude. Like, are they not just
what do
a
they
joke?
do?
Like,
dude, they don't do anything.
But that's why I fucking love it when Trump is like on the U.S. authority, because she's hinting at like international authority, like, oh, you can't do that. There's a rule-based order, international law, and it's like, yeah, but the international law only really fucking comes into play when it's the Western countries. Otherwise, no one gives a fuck. So,
I mean, Trump is just the big fucking dude. He's just like the big dude in the room with the biggest dick and the biggest muscles. It just doesn't matter. Like, you just lose.
He just says it. He just says the words that I'm thinking. He just says them out loud.
He just says the words that I'm thinking.
Okay, why did you say it like that?
Why did you say?
Why did you say it like that?
What do you mean?
Why did you say it like that?
That's what you sound like to me.
I don't like that at all. I'm gonna replace you.
What?
You're getting replaced.
I'm getting replaced?
Yeah.
Aw. You gonna replace me with Ryan? He's gonna be under the sub sucking some dude's dick. Like, hold on, I'm in the Navy, guys. 1 second.
I wonder. I haven't asked him yet how he feels about the administration changes, but he seems happier.
I don't think he cares either way. He seems like such a different person.
Yeah, I mean, I think he cares. I think he cares. I think he cares.
Yeah, maybe.
Definitely. I don't feel like you can be in the military and not care.
Maybe a little bit. Maybe an AC-130 shooting down innocent Palestinian civilians. Maybe that kind of indifference. Maybe just a tiny squee bit.
Oh my god. Maybe.
They were orders. We have to do it, Billy Bob. Well, shit, if they're orders.
You ever see, you know who Shane Gillis is?
No.
He's a comedian, pretty famous for doing the Trump impression, but
oh.
He talks about the difference between, he likes watching the same shit you do, but
yeah.
He talks about the difference between the Muslim, the Arab terrorists and how they fight versus the Americans. Yeah. And he talks about how, like, there's so much emotion when the Arabs are fighting, you know, they're like, oh shit, you know, like, oh, run, or whatever.
Yeah.
And then when the Americans are killing people, they're just like, oh shit, there they are, permission to fire.
Yeah.
Alright, firing. Alright,
yeah,
it's done. Time to go home. It's done. Like, this shit's so fucking funny.
we have a military and they don't. They just have a bunch of people with guns.
And yet, somehow, they resist.
I mean, they have religion. They have Allah on their side.
True.
And we only have the Helios laser.
Yeah, dude, pull up the Helios laser again. I want to see that.
Let's see this thing again. I'm gonna get hard.
Dude, look up the Helios laser and then look up the fucking manta ray submarine, please.
Well, it's okay because the Muslims don't control Atlantis anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, the war is fucking over. Yeah. Yeah, that's autonomous, by the way.
That's pretty crazy.
Dude, that shit's unreal.
We're entering the fucking Mecca anime.
I know.
We're in fucking Mecca
so
era.
Hype, bro. It's so hype.
It is pretty hype.
Yeah. This thing, dude, I don't know. Fuck. Look at this.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's autonomous. It's bigger than a whale. It fucking can infinitely cruise the ocean. Okay, I'll tell you my conspiracy theories. 1, time traveling is very easy, and there's a bunch of time travelers living amongst us. 2, the U.S. figures out time travel. Shut up. 2, the U.S. figured out time traveling first, and it's done through yes, quantum mechanics. Pretty easy. Oh, and 3, this is the easier. This is like the closer to reality one. The U.S. has figured out superconductivity, and is hiding it from the world. Those are my big 3.
None of those things affect me.
All right, well, I think that's enough for today. You're such a lemming. Like, what the fuck?
Oh, you can look up superconductivity real quick.
Why? I am explaining what superconductivity is. It's the ability to transfer energy without any and most of it being lost, or any of it being lost in the transfer process.
Well, yeah, superconductivity is already a thing. It's just a matter of getting enough money together to pay people to fucking keep rails cooled at such a low temperature so that, you know, the monorails can move through it. That's the only real issue.
No, that's maglev. You're talking about maglev. I'm not talking.
No,
about
I'm talking
maglev.
about superconductivity.
Superconductivity is useful with maglev. It makes it a lot more efficient, but it makes everything more efficient. Superconductivity in itself maybe we've discovered it, but I think the U.S. has made it not only much more readily available, but we are actively using it in our technology.
Probably.
The
I get
end.
my electricity price isn't going lower.
They would have to replace all the infrastructure. Like, pretty much you'd have to replace all the wires to get it mainstream.
Yeah, maybe they did it while I wasn't looking, you know?
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
With the time travelers.
When you blink your eyes and it didn't affect you, and maybe now it does. Who knows?
I mean, if it affects me, then I care a lot. Greatly, though.
I don't think you know what affects you and what doesn't.
I know AI does it. I know the only way AI affects me is when I go to a Google search.
Dude, I know AI affects you because you use social media, you moron.
I use Instagram.
Which is controlled by
black people.
No.
No?
No. DEI is over. We're not doing that anymore.
Oh,
we
that's
moved
a shame. I wanted to donate.
You're too broke.
Yeah. Yeah, crypto went down a little bit too hard for me to handle.
Fucking crypto.
Let's see where crypto's at right now. Let's see how we're doing. Let's see how everything's going. Oh.
It's just at 96. Why do you look at the chart and you're like, oh my god, look, it's red and it points down. It's at 96K.
Look how steep it is. Look how steep this fucking thing is. Look at this.
Zoom out all the way. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Look how steep it is. Whoa! Wow!
Look at the all-time, Doug.
We should be freaking out. Whoa!
On it, you actually should.
Crypto's in a free fall. Whoa!
It is. It's going to free fall, Doug. It's literally. It's going to free fall.
You're an idiot.
It's going to. I'm telling you.
No, it's not.
It's crabbing right now. And what happens when it crabs? Look at the chart. I'm pointing at the chart again, Doug. Tap, 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 tapping the sign.
I'm so smart. I know so many things about crypto, and yet I'm still broke. Every crypto bro ever. Look at me.
Fuck you, Doug. I'm trying.
Every crypto bro. I can predict the markets. Look, I know what's going to happen next, and yet I'm still a broke bitch.
Listen, if I can just get some more tokens off Ethereum, then
guys, just buy my coin, please. Guys, I'm telling you, Ethereum Light, it's really gonna pop off this year. We're in the bear market. Yeah. Wow.
Look at Litecoin though. Litecoin just doesn't do anything.
Dude, half these coins don't do anything until some random donut makes it do something, and then everyone's like, I knew it. Oh gosh, it's dipping again. I'm gonna pretend like that didn't happen.
Yeah. I guess I don't know. It's all pretty. Everything's looking kind of rough right now.
I mean, like, crypto's a more volatile market than other markets, but like,
look at Monero, baby, the actual cryptocurrency.
Yeah, and the only reason it's doing well is because Trump is like mentioned the guy. Dude, I can't be bothered with crypto. Like, it's so stupid. Every person who trades here, except like 10 people, know what they're doing, and everyone else is an idiot who thinks they know what they're doing.
True.
like,
true and based.
Not 4chan.
Solana bin Laden. No, it's a new token.
All right, maybe we'll initiate a daily crypto report, but not today. I don't want to talk about crypto, so we are going to end today's stream, today's episode. I disagree. I think there's a lot of things happening, so fun times.
Nothing's happened. Nothing ever happens.
Lots of things happen. All of these things snowball.
Nope. Nothing ever happens. Always remember this.
Remember that the guy who thinks there's masterminds plucking dominoes all the time doesn't think they're doing it right now. So
they are doing it right now. I do think they're doing it right now.
They're visually doing it right in front of you, and you're like, nothing's happening. Nothing's happening. Nothing's happening.
It's funny.
Trump's literally like, yeah, we're gonna fucking take over Gaza, and you're like, nothing's happening. Nothing's happening.
Yeah, because it's funny. It's hilarious.
What are you?
Nothing ever happens. Just say it. It's funny. I don't know.
Oh my